angle it this way. So I think like in your. There we go. There.
Yeah, it's always tweaking.
Yeah, there we go. I don't have to like.
But yeah. What's up, YouTube?
Oh, we're live. Hey.
My mom was like, your hair is growing back so really fast.
It does do that.
And I was like, thankfully. I wish my facial hair would catch up. Right now, I look like a doof. But I'm not shaving again.
Ever?
I don't know. I look like a freaking baby.
You can like keep it like.
Well, yeah, I'm definitely going to trim it. But like, I got to let it like.
Oh, that's fine. I'm growing mine back.
So what happened?
Oh, well.
You said you were on a cruise
we went snorkeling.
Oh, you went snorkeling.
In order to get the seal.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you can do it, but it's just better if you have like skin. And I was like, it'd grow back. I mean, it's already halfway there. And I wanted to be able to like, snorkel to the best of my ability. So I shaved it. Gosh.
I'm worried about this top part.
See, it's okay. It really, like, in person, it doesn't look as bad as the camera. I'm not even kidding.
I know.
Like, I can see it.
But Derek was looking at the camera, and he immediately was like, what's going on up there? I'm like, shut up.
It looks worse on the camera. I mean,
can't see. I don't think I have a scar anymore.
It's really not bad.
Because it would be, like, right here, I think.
Like, the part that looks thin on top isn't really that bad. The hairline is what it is. But
yeah.
That looks thinner up there than it does in person.
I'm just trying to see if there's the scar. Because there should be a scar. Maybe that's what this is. Ooh, maybe it is. Scar. I had staples in my head.
What'd you do?
My brother hit me in the head with a golf club.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And then my dad just thinking like, oh, just put some ice on it. And then my mom came home and there was like a trail of blood coming from the garage. And I'm like sitting there with like... I was like, what the hell happened? She made my dad take me to the hospital. And then when they're like, do you want stitches or staples? And I had them when I was 3. I somehow thought it would be a good idea to just lower my head and run in. We had a metal banister, and I seriously just ran, like charged into it. And I had to get stitches. And I to this day remember how much that hurt,
right.
Like stitches in my forehead. And luckily, I didn't get a scar from that, although that would be kind of cool.
Yeah, it's true.
But then I have to tell people, like, yeah, it's self-inflicted.
You ran into
a banister on purpose. Amazing, I didn't, like, permanent damage or anything. But, so I had that memory, so when they're like, you want to get staples, I was like, staples sounds cool. And then they, like, they give me a shot right in my head, and then I just heard click, click, click. Yeah, and then I had to go to the doctor to get them removed, and that hurt.
Oh, I can imagine.
Because he took a staple remover. It was like a medical staple remover. It was like, but they did for a while. I had it. Because it's like a disposable stapler, like a medical stapler, and they gave it to me.
Really? That's cool.
Yeah.
I had staples in my leg for my surgery, but it wasn't. I mean, I can imagine the scalp being a lot worse.
And then I had just this gnarly, and it was like picture day, like the next day. So like my picture, it wasn't like pictures, like we'd already done those, and that's like the famous Brendo mullet. Like well, that was more fro than mullet. It was like half fro, half mullet. Yeah, but then we had like our own little class yearbook, and in that I'm like going like this, like totally trying to hide because I have this like giant like bandage gash. It was gnarly.
You're like saluting, kind of.
Yeah, and it like my hair's all funky because I had to shave a giant patch in my head. Definitely, yeah, I got made fun of quite a bit. Because one, it's like you walked in. It wasn't like my brother intentionally hit me with a golf club. It was like I just stood behind him, like, he was like, bam. Because we had won this at the Scout Fair. There was this booth where you were like, it was a putting contest, and if you won, you got to keep the golf club. And of course, he chose the pitching wedge, which has the sharp
right into your scalp.
Yep, it was gnarly.
So speaking of kids getting made fun of at school, Luke had a hard time this week on one day, and it was partially my fault.
Oh.
So Janelle got them like gummies, you know, like little packs of gummies to go on their lunches. And she got like princess ones and then Star Wars ones. And so I was packing the lunches and I switched them. I put a Star Wars one in Audrey's and a princess one in Luke's. Now, Audrey was stoked because she likes Star Wars. But Luke like opened them up and he was like fine because he doesn't care. Like he likes princesses. And one of the boys like laughed at him and made fun of him.
Oh.
And he was like so mad and like hurt. And I asked him at the end of the day, like, how'd your day go? And he's like, it was okay, but a kid made fun of me because I had princess. Why'd you give me princess? And I'm like, okay, first of all, you can tell that kid he can shut up because, you know, you can like princess stuff if you want to. And second of all, I didn't mean to switch it around. I'll be more careful. Because whether or not it's fair, people are going to be mean. But I just felt so bad that it was like my fault that I switched them around. He still liked the gummies though, so. Poor kid. He said he doesn't want to be friends with that kid anymore either. I said, that's okay.
What kid was it? It wasn't Brendan, was it?
No. Just the kid at lunch.
Okay. Better not be Brendan.
No. Brendan's still cool. Yeah. No, they're funny. They still play together. They have all these little games they play. And there's one of the girls in the class makes up, like each day she comes up with a fun game for them to play. Like one day they're firefighters or they're, you know, doctors or whatever each day. And so earlier this week, she was absent one day. And so Luke made up the game. He's like, I got to make up the game today.
Mm-hmm.
And so his game he made up was first he made up Pac-Man. And it was just like they were all Pac-Mans running around like eating ghosts and stuff like that. But then like the next day they made it, I think it was Pac-Man Zelda. And somehow I forget, like he was like combining different things, but it was all Pac-Man was the connecting thread. And the girl who like usually plans them approved of it. She liked it, so they got to play Pac-Man Zelda or whatever.
Gosh, so dang. Made it worse. That's a little too.
No, it's just all me.
There you go.
It's the Phil Show.
That's fine, right? What was that?
What
are you doing? Weirdo.
I don't like staring at myself back on the computer. It's weird still.
Derek refuses.
Yeah, I did for a long time. I don't know how you convinced me to cave. Oh, I guess because we do it in person now.
Came here, you can't like. Are you gonna wear a mask?
Just lean back.
No, you're not. No.
Huh? You can't tell.
People watch the video.
I know. When they see you talking to someone off camera, that's our bit. I'm like the neighbor. Oh, see, this doesn't even work. I'm like the neighbor in
Wilson.
Improvement in Wilson. Oh, you Brendan?
Don't be Wilson.
I'm Wilson. I am Wilson, but I'm like the volleyball.
I'm tired.
We better start.
Get going.
Start it. Fired up.
All right, hold on.
Tonight's episode is brought to you by Pasadena Comic Con.
Don't say that. What if it sucks?
Might not be.
Remember freaking Yorba Linda
Yeah,
Comic Con?
They just called it Southern California Comic Con.
That was the biggest crock in the history of crocks.
It was so bad. We asked for our money back and they said no. We're like, this isn't what we thought it was. They're like, oh, it's too late. It already came in.
Like, who would pay money to just like go to like? It was like the most boring. Like think about Comic Con. Not even like cool swap meet like Shrine Show. It was like the dealers at Comic Con that just have boxes of comic books.
That's it. No toys,
and then that's it.
Collectibles,
nothing. And like no cool stuff
guests,
to look at.
No panels. No nothing.
And it was like $12.
Yeah.
It was like, this is bull crap.
That's it. And that was,
like as soon as we walked in, we're like, oh crap.
This is not a Comic Con.
This
is
is
a
very freaking glorified comic book store.
Yeah.
And not even a cool one.
Yeah, a comic
again,
book
no collectible
and like old boxes.
And it was like old and like I don't know, comics are cool and all, but like I can only look through old comics.
Yeah, I'm like paying money for the privilege of doing it, that's for sure.
And then like, and they weren't like, it wasn't like dollar bin or like cheap stuff. It was like fancy, like a lot of it's like Silver Age, whatever. I don't know. Now I feel like people, comic book family, like, what are you talking about?
Well, it's not that it's bad. It's that do you
not
want
my
to pay
thing.
for the privilege of going through those boxes and stuff?
Yeah.
No. So today I stopped by on the way home. My mom was out in Redlands, and so I met her at that thrift store that we went to that had the dealers in the back.
Oh yeah,
And
did you go into that guy?
Go into the guys. He's got a lot of cool stuff.
With all the toys and everything.
Yeah. He has
Video games.
Video games. I didn't wind up buying anything from him. He had some really good stuff, but he knows what it's worth.
Yeah,
and it's not like unreasonably priced, but he knows his price.
Well, that's like those guys. That guy at Arcade Expo, because he had. Forgot what the guy. He was the guy. One of the guys picked out something, and he's like, "How much is it?" He's like $40. And he's like, "That's how much it's worth." And he's like, "Yeah,
that's how I'm selling it for that." Exactly. So it's not unreasonable.
What's up, Steve?
Hey, how's it going? But so the funny thing is,
that Chrono Trigger is probably like $75.
Oh yeah,
like,
I'm sure. And I just wouldn't even bother asking because I know he obviously.
But it's not like grandma's garage sale,
right?
Where you
we're in the internet age now. You're not going to find that very often anymore. But okay,
rare.
So you remember there was the one with all the collectibles, and then there was one that was like records.
Yeah, the record one.
So one of the record one. Well, on the outside, she had the lady that ran it had like a little thing of bargain records, and I peeked through those, and like she came on me like a vulture, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is bad." She's like, "Oh, what are you looking for? I'll help you find it." And at first, like that's fine, and I'm like, "Oh, I like a lot of indie bands and stuff. Like it's just kind of random." She's like, "Well, let me show you around the shop," and I was just like poking my head in and. She's like, "This is where we have country. This is where we have rap, blah, blah, blah." I'm like, "Okay, cool." She's like, "What bands are you looking for?" And I'm like, "I don't know. You probably haven't heard of most of the bands." Like,
also, like, I'm just looking.
I'm just trying to look. And then she's like, "Well, here's the bands that I've never heard of." And then she showed me, like, records that, like, she's never heard of. And I'm like, "Okay, I haven't heard of those either." And then I'm like, she's like, "Well, give me a name." I'm like, "Fine, like 77s. That's something that she might have there. Never heard of that." Okay, like, I don't know, Daniel Amos maybe, or Phil Keaggy, something like that. Nothing. I'm like, okay, well that's
for
cool.
like the old stuff.
Yeah,
like
because that's what she had. She had a lot of stuff from like the 70s and early 80s and stuff. And I'm like, that's cool. And then she just like was on me, like, "Here you go. Look at this one." And I'm like, okay. And then finally Matthew came in, "Hey Phil, we gotta go." I'm like, "Oh, sorry, I gotta leave." And that was like, I can't go back in there now. I never got to look through her boxes of stuff, but she was just on me.
That's not how you run a store.
No, like just let me look at the stuff.
Especially record people, we just want to be left alone to look through the records.
I just want to go through.
Like you're not gonna sell us on anything unless you like get to know us, and then like maybe, and then even then it's like, "Oh, here's a couple things." It's not like, "Oh, look at this," because like record people, like we're just a lot of it is like just going through things and being inspired, and like finding that thing. You can't tell what we're not. Unless you're like hardcore and you have like most of the time we're just looking to see what catches our fancy.
Yep. And there's always, I mean, I did wind up buying a record from the main thrift store.
Yeah. Exactly. But like that's just
no one was bugging
you were
me
flipping through the
it.
bins and you found something that looks cool.
I found a Phil Keaggy record and it's called, because it's Phil, and it's called Flip Side, and one side is blue and he's all like serious and the other side is red and he's all happy. I was like, that's awesome. $2. I'm getting that. No one bugged me.
I read a thing recently that Hendrix story is probably not true.
Oh, probably, and I think he's even said it's not true.
But it's helped. He's like, it isn't, but it's heavily helped my career.
Yes, it has. He is a fantastic.
Yeah, and he has played with like pretty much everybody.
Right.
And I mean, it's likely that him and Hendrix like met each other at some point. But like
Glass Heart back in the day, they played with a lot of people.
But people just kind of like almost willed that quote into existence just because they wanted it to be true. I remember
Bob Poole, the Poole's dad, told me that, like, "This is Phil Keaggy, you got to hear it. This is what Jimi Hendrix said." But he is, I've seen him in person.
I mean, everybody says, like, even like across the board, he's always, people know who he is, he's on like the lists.
Yeah.
Even like Guitar World magazine and all those.
But it's probably a fictional quote.
Yeah, but still, to his benefit.
Yeah, works okay. We should check the microphone.
Yeah. Because I think also, like, he recorded it at, like, Electric Lady Studios, and, like, but then it got to the point where somebody, like, researched, and they got to the point where they were checking studio logs, and, like, they were not there at the same time, and like all this stuff, and the session that like people think is like Hendrix was in another like in a different country with that, and so like it's gotten to that level where people were trying to like there's like entire like long articles about like because it's like rock legend, it's like rock folklore.
Yeah, I mean, again, I heard it back in the 80s.
But I was just recently, because I don't know, I get on these weird Wikipedia. Everybody knows. Hello.
Blah.
Check 1, 2. So did you hear about that? Seinfeld is doing a residency like in New York.
No, really?
Yeah, for like I think the whole year or something.
Wow,
like crazy. But the tickets are still like.
It's gonna be ridiculous.
God bless my mom. Like she bought me those tickets for my birthday. They were $100.
Seriously.
Each. And I've seen Seinfeld live, and you haven't.
I know. If I could go back in time.
I was just recently. I don't know. I get on these weird Wikipedia. Of course, she did it because she was trying to get me to like go on a date with somebody.
Right.
That didn't work out.
Who did you wind up? Did you just go by yourself?
Some random, like another dude that I knew.
Okay. Because Matt went to one too, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. Couldn't remember if you went with him or not.
No, this was in Madison.
Oh, okay, that's right.
But
he went to like Las Vegas or something, I think.
But it was that same tour.
Right.
It was the one with Orny Adams, like that comedian, like they filmed that. But for me, it was Orny Adams, but then also Chappelle opened for him. This was before Chappelle's show.
Nice.
Like I don't think Orny Adams was there at the Madison one. But like you've seen that documentary, right? Like,
yeah.
And then also just
I'm telling you for the last time.
Well, that but like the comedian one where it's them on the road.
Yeah.
But like I'm telling you for the last time.
Comedian?
Yeah, I think it's just comedian.
So. Yeah.
But I'm telling you for the last time is great because it has like that sketch that like where he's burying his jokes.
Yeah.
And like some of the conversations he has with all the comedians.
Yep.
Same thing in comedy. It's just cool seeing those like all these comedians getting together and like I don't know. I want to be part of that.
But that comedian documentary though is super cool.
We'll also watching
backstage
and then kind of watching the self-destruction of Orny Adams.
Yeah.
Although he's still out there. I see his name every once in a while.
But it's very interesting though.
Yeah. Oh, tired.
All right.
Let's get it going.
Start it.
Let's get the show on the road. Hello and welcome to another episode of Radio BrendoMan. I'm Brendan Creecy.
And I'm Phil Vecchio.
You're back.
Back in the flesh.
You're live.
Live. Had a great trip.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Had fun?
Had a lot of fun.
Ate a lot of food?
A lot of food.
Double entrees?
Double entrees every night. Yep. 8.2 pounds is the final.
How many lobsters?
3 lobster tails on lobster night.
Yeah.
Yep.
And they had chicken fingers and those pretzels, the filled pretzels.
On the Disney cruise, they have like the stuff you get in Disneyland, but it's like all you can eat on the cruise. So we had the chicken fingers.
Gosh.
It's from like the ones that they sell like in the stage door.
Stage Door Cafe, which that chicken fingers mozzarella sticks combo. That's like the best thing.
They just hand them out left and right.
Frig.
The pretzels, they had like the cream cheese, like the sweet cream cheese stuffed ones, and they also had like the salted ones and the jalapeno ones.
Dude, if I had like 24-hour pretzels, like I would just die.
And a lot of
pretzels.
And then I would be like, because the same guy was running it, so then we'd like, oh, Audrey, Luke, go get some more pretzels.
Because you're like kind of embarrassed.
Kind of, but I mean not.
Whatever, it's a cruise.
But no, dude, we ate like kings.
And you went to Tortola,
which is in the British Virgin Isles.
Yeah.
And
was there a lot of British accents?
Not really. It was more just sort of that Caribbean type accent. I mean, for the people that we saw, we didn't see everybody on the whole island, but they do drive on the other side of the road though.
Ooh.
So that was interesting.
They had the taxi.
Yeah, they have the same kind of taxis where it's just like a truck with like the benches welded into the back of it. So like a pickup truck. That was super cool. We went to like this it was called Brewers Bay. It was on the far side of the island, and it was pretty pretty secluded. I mean, there's probably like 30 other people on the whole beach, you know. So, which I mean, coming from Southern California, you know, that's huge.
And plus, these are like crystal clear waters, like 75, 80-degree waters.
Yeah. And right up against the jungle, there's like vines and butterflies. There was like Indiana Jones ruins going through there. I'm not even kidding. I was like videoing it. Like it's
monkeys?
Not monkeys.
I'm always scared of monkey attacks.
Yeah. I think on the islands, I don't think they're out there. But
maybe. Who knows?
I don't know.
Tropical monkeys.
But they're like in South America, aren't they?
I think there's monkeys everywhere. Lemurs?
Yeah,
it's Madagascar.
Yeah. Madagascar's got a lot of unique stuff. Anyway.
Can you go to Madagascar?
You can. In recent years, there's been a lot of war going on there. I don't know what the status is now, but it's not always been safe.
I know you can go to Galapagos.
Yeah.
Brian Apodaca's wife went there.
Really?
Yeah.
I would love to.
She goes like on all these like crazy. She's been to like different countries in Africa. Like she's done a lot of really cool traveling. I was just telling you, like, I mean, my number one destination I want to go to is Japan, of course.
Right.
But then number two that I could have, like, again, like my biggest regret about leaving China was I had this group of friends, and like it was when we were in Beijing, like, because we all ended up teaching in different parts of the country.
Right.
But when we're gonna get together once a year during our semester break, and we're gonna go to a different place every year. And like we went to, like, Renee and I went to Hong Kong, like our first year, and then a bunch of those guys ended up going to Bali, and I didn't get to go because I spent all my money in Hong Kong. But the next year so we planned out like year by year we were gonna go, and it was like we're gonna go India this year, and then we had a friend that lived in New Zealand, so we're gonna go with her to New Zealand, and then we had another friend in Tibet. We're gonna go to Tibet, then we're gonna go to India, and then like each year we're gonna do something. And they did all of those things. They went everywhere, and I never got to go to any of those places. And one of the first places they went to, like I think that later that year, they went to Cambodia and like Angkor Wat, and like those are Indiana Jones ruins, and Jungle Cruise, like the big like idols and statues and stuff, and like dude, and like the pictures just look so awesome. Like that's like way up there for me on like a trip, and it's like really cheap. And the thing with all those places is getting there. It's like same thing with Thailand. Like
once you're there, once you're in
so
Asia.
cheap. Like I could, like I mean I lived once the most expensive place I ever went to in my whole Asia journey was Hong Kong. It's expensive as crap.
Yeah.
But even that wasn't too bad. I mean, I had a free place to stay after our initial Chungking Mansions hostel experience.
Yeah.
But I survived that. But then like Thailand, we stayed at like a freaking like 5-star resort, and it was like $10. Like it was crazy.
Oh man. And
like we went on treks and like went in the jungle. I rode an elephant.
That's cool.
Like did all this cool stuff, and like Thailand was awesome. We went to we went to like some of the beaches, but like my friends went to Phuket, and like again for like $10 a week.
Yeah.
Stay on the beach. And that's the beach from the beach.
The beach from the beach.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
And I mean, I know it's gotten a little bit more, but like, because at this time, like the baht was like at an all-time low. And like, it was crazy, man. Like, it was nuts.
Bottom out.
Bottomed out. But so you had a good time on the Disney cruise, and then you were in Galveston, Texas?
We started in Galveston.
And then you went to Austin?
Well, we flew into Austin.
Oh, okay.
Drove to Galveston.
But you got to go to a record shop in Austin. Did you get anything cool there?
Yeah, I just got a couple CDs.
I guess traveling was stuff.
Yeah, I found a Pedro the Lion CD I didn't have, so that was cool. I like to pick up a couple, but here's the funny part. So I go
like buy a CD?
When we go to a place and we rent a car, I go and buy CDs wherever we are, and then I have something to listen to. So I got them. We got back to the car, and I'm all excited.
Did it not have a CD
player? Didn't have a CD player in the car.
Was it just like XM radio? Or something?
Just had all that stuff, and we called up the car place because it had buttons for a CD player, but they just didn't have it. and one installed.
Like a lot of them, they just have like
it had like
does it have an auxiliary jack?
It did.
Did it have a Bluetooth? Because a lot of them have Bluetooth now.
I think it had
so
that
you can
too.
Because when I was in New Orleans, I brought some CDs and then I ended up not listening to them because I just hooked my phone up to the Bluetooth, and then I listened to podcasts and like my music from there. I want that in my car, but if you don't have it to like get a kid, it's like expensive.
Right.
And because I'm not doing another FM transmitter because those are BS. Like I had an iTrip, and that was a freaking like.
Anytime you drive through a strong signal, you just pick that up.
And then you got to flip it around, and it sounds like crap.
Chanel had that for a while too.
Yeah. They're not nearly as like the only John had one because you can get ones from China that use frequencies because like here the FCC like controls it. So you can get ones and they're not even that expensive, but like but that takes like however many months to get here.
Right.
So it's not, but like, because John had one where like you don't have that problem because it uses the high frequencies that the ones here aren't allowed to use.
Or the FCC guys like
I don't know how they would do that. I don't think it's like something that they, but I mean you don't want to use it like in an airplane or something.
Right. Yeah, that could be bad.
And then some people like I can see some, not that people like are really listening to the radio that much anyways, but like other people might be able to hear your music,
whatever you're playing. Yeah.
Because again,
as you drive down the freeway, people passing.
Yeah. But now a lot of people because like and my CD player, I don't know, I think it's on its last legs because I had you like managed to
you just have to tap I found it.
Because I was messing with it. Most of the time it's when I'm driving, so I can't get too focused on it. And I had the same, it was like a demo that got stuck in there for like weeks.
Yeah. Of this band, I was just showing you like, oh, you should hear this guy. These guys, they're not that great. And then it got stuck in there.
I thought I was gonna have like a How I Met Your Mother situation,
except not on a good song.
Yeah, but any song stuck on, I feel like after a while.
Yeah. That whole bit is great because they like love it,
and then it goes cycles. It goes through cycles, and then like over the years, and then But like I love the very first way. He's like, listen to this new song. I bet these guys are gonna be huge. Like it's the 5,000 mile song, and then the road trip. Oh, it's a good show. But so then you went to Galveston, but then Audrey got sick, so you missed out on your Texas barbecue.
Yes, Audrey got sick. Well, if you remember correctly, Luke had gotten pink eye, and then he transferred it to me before we found out about it. So on the trip, like the first night, I'm like, oh, I think she's coming down with it. And sure enough, like the next morning, she was all like cloudy, and she was all stuffed up and stuff. She wound up having a sinus infection, which I think I might have now. Anyway, so we spent the first day of vacation in the urgent care and then going to like different pharmacies trying to figure all that stuff out because, we're not in our coverage or whatever. It worked out okay. We got it all figured out, but it was not fun. But then, so we took off out of Galveston and we had like really cool hotel rooms. We never really got to use them. But the first day, I mean, like right off the bat, they've got movies. They have a movie theater on the boat.
Yeah.
We watched. I think it was the first day we saw Bridge of Spies, which is really cool.
Yep. That's nominated for Best Picture.
Yeah. That was the only one I hadn't seen at all that they had in the theaters, but a lot of like Marvel movies and stuff I watched again.
Star Wars.
Watched Star Wars in 3D, which is cool.
Nice.
Which I hadn't gotten to see, and oh my gosh, so I've seen it 3 times now.
I love it.
On a boat. Let's see, a couple other funny things. So we ended, great time on the boat, great service. The kids love the kids areas, all that kind of stuff. And we ended in Puerto Rico, which is a one-way trip. So we spent a great day there, had a lot of fun venturing around and stuff. I want to go back to Puerto Rico
good Puerto Rican
bad.
Food.
And we had what's it called? Mofongo.
Yeah,
which was really good. It's like a plantain mash. They make like a bowl out of it, and I had like shrimp in mine. There's like beef and stuff and others. But anyway, so the next morning we flew out, and it was pouring rain the day that we left. The rest of the trip was almost all good weather. It was pouring rain, so the guy pulls up to the curb. Like we took a taxi to the airport, like out of a big van, and he was probably about 1.5 feet away from the curb, right? and there's like a stream of water going in the gutter, right? So he comes over and he helps my mom out and, helps lift her across it and stuff. And then I'm like standing up, there's like 2 steps up in the van. So I'm like up 2 steps and I step out across to like the curb over on this side, and my foot, it's just slick. It's like stepping on ice, except it was, just water. My foot went out from under me. I did full-on splits between the van and the thing, dropped 2 bags of ours into the water, and then skidded across the cement about 5 feet and landed up, like smacked into my leg. I'm still bruised. Like my leg is
At least you didn't hit your head, dude.
Didn't hit my head, but it hurt so bad. It was bad enough that like the dude who's out there yelling at people to move their cars ran over to see if I was okay. The driver comes over. My mom's the only one that saw the whole thing because I came right at her. Everyone else saw bits and pieces of it. But the funny part is, I guess, okay, so a little bit of backstory. On the cruise, they did like a newlywed game. Mm-hmm. And so Janelle and I have our little trick. Janelle can do the splits, right? And so in order to get on it, like they have like a contest to see who's craziest or whatever. Janelle does the splits. And that's kind of our thing. We get on it a lot, right? Well, we tried it. We didn't make it on. For whatever reason, people cheered for other people. We were like the next one up, and we didn't get on it. So after I did the skid across the cement, my mom said I was in like shock, like literally like shock, because I hit the ground and bounced across. And she said, I don't even remember this, but she said I stood up, and I kept saying, do I get to go on the newlywed game now? So do we get to go on the newlywed game now? My mom's like, no. And I'm like, but I think we should go on the newlywed game now. I did the splits. Do I get to go on it now? And she's like, was worried because I just kept going. I finally got it together, but so that was bad. That was like the end of it.
Steve says he would have spent the whole cruise watching Star Wars.
Yeah, well, I only watched it once, but I also saw Guardians of the Galaxy, Ant-Man, Avengers 2, watched The Good Dinosaur again. So there's a lot of them. But also, I wanted to like do stuff, not just watch movies. So, but yeah, I think they showed it like 7 times. So you could.
You guys had a room with a view.
We had a room, portholes. Was that cool? It was awesome
because we didn't have a porthole.
Right, we got it for the same price. I mean, we got killer deal on this thing. It was $450 for the 6-night cruise with a ocean view.
That's like about what we paid with our like crazy. Cast member discount.
That's why we did this. Janelle called me up and was like, "Oh my gosh, there's a great deal. We got it." I'm like, "Do it now." So yeah, I mean,
because those cruises are like $2,000 or more.
Oh, easy. This one, because it was repositioning, was slightly cheaper, but even still, like no one else got what we got. So she called up once she saw the deal. She called up the cruise line, like Disney themselves, and said, like, hey, is this a good deal? Should I book through you? And they're like, if you can get that deal, get it, because you're not getting that through us.
Didn't you also get like ship credit?
Oh, $200 ship or credit. Oh, so
what'd you do with that?
So, couple things. I mean, we let the kids each pick out a little prize, and Janelle played bingo on the boat.
Ooh, how was that?
She had fun, but she didn't win. She went with my mom to do that.
Was it like crazy bingo? Or
no, they said it was like a lot more like relaxed. Not like the Laughlin bingo.
Freaking Laughlin bingo, man.
Oh my gosh. Still stresses me out. I'm just afraid to go back into the bingo water.
I never want to play because
but I know it's never like that usually. B7, B8, I-12.
Yeah, they say
that's
twice. That is seriously no exaggeration what it was.
They have like 8 sheets you have to stamp. So they had something in the gift shop. And we had like $200 to spend. We didn't like do any excursions, and Janelle didn't want to do like massages and stuff. So they had the BB-8 that's controlled by the iPhone.
You got the freaking remote control BB-8?
I got it.
You have it?
I have it.
Oh,
dude,
is it awesome?
I haven't even gotten to open it yet. We've only been home for a few days.
Oh my gosh.
I know, but yes, I have it. It's waiting to play.
Nice.
I got the last one too. The lady's like, "Oh, we've been wondering who's gonna get the last one. There's only a couple of them."
That's awesome.
But I mean, I had to. We had to spend it. It was like the last night.
Yeah, I remember. I had some left over, and I bought that Disney Imagineering book because they had all. And I think they gave me my cast member discount, which I don't think that's
probably not. But it was like a use it or lose it kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it was like the last night, and Janelle's like, "Just do it. You want it." We don't want to spend $200 on it or whatever elsewhere. So it was $150.
Yeah.
But I mean, so I think after we bought the kids stuff, I spent like $40 on it or something. So I was pretty stoked. So I got that. I thought I dipped that in the water, but I managed to keep that out of the water. It was in my bag, but it was like at the top of the bag. Yeah. So anyway, it was pretty spectacular.
Those are like flying off the shelves.
I know. Even on the cruise ship, like she said, and she said we only get like a few like every other week or something. So it was pretty cool. Yeah, Steve says $200 worth of Mickey ears is our alternative. So I feel pretty good with it.
Yeah,
we could have bought other like Nicky Nacky stuff, but might as well go for the big thing.
Nice.
So yeah, it was really, really cool. Had a great time. A lot of fun. A lot of good food. Now I gotta start. Although I've already taken 2 pounds back off, so that's good. Just by not eating 12 pretzels in one day.
Pretzels.
Gosh, dude, those pretzels. We would just sit up there by the pool because they had like the kids love the kiddie pool, and so we just would sit there. And there's like the pizza place here, and then like the chicken fingers here, and ice cream over here, and we just.
I've been hanging out.
Yeah.
Applied for some jobs. Haven't heard back from jobs.
You kind of heard back from one.
Well, I heard back. Palm Springs School District said I passed the test, and now they'll let me know if I get an interview. They'll let me know.
That's a good start.
I guess. I don't know. I don't want to go. I don't want to work anymore.
But you did hang out with my brother, though.
I did. I hung out with Matthew. We went to Steak and Shake in Victorville.
So you was there for like 5 hours.
We were there forever because it was like pouring. I didn't want to like go anywhere else. And then also we were just good conversation.
Yeah.
And I was really excited because that was I'll tell the story in a little bit, but like it was when like the Kenny Weisberg thing happened.
Right.
Like we have a potential guest for the show, and like I read this guy's book, and he's awesome. But I'll talk about it when I talk about the book.
Cool.
But that had happened. I was excited, and then I had written that whole thing, so I was excited about that, and like it was just exciting, and like it's cool talking to Matthew, and because he's like my little bro.
Yeah.
And
he said he had a good time.
I've known him since he was like what, 8, 9.
Yeah. 9 probably. Yeah. So it's a long time.
Most of his life. And then Steak and Shake was awesome. We had the cookie butter shake.
Oh my gosh.
Holy crap.
Ridiculous.
Best shake I've ever had.
Yes.
And Steak and Shake is so cheap. It's a sit-down place for a burger, that shake, fries, plus tip. It was like $14.
Yeah. Yeah, and like the kid meals are really cheap.
And like they were the best service, super nice. They almost, because like after a while we felt bad, so we stopped getting refills. But like she almost forced us to like drink more soda because we were there for like hours.
Yeah,
and it was like
so good,
awesome. But because it was like pouring, the weather has just been nuts. Like El Nino finally showed up in force.
Yeah.
It's like crazy storms. San Diego got like bad flooding. Like here it wasn't as bad, but like San Diego like bad flooding. Like the 101 flooded. Like all kinds of stuff. Like cliffs collapsed. Like some dude fell off a cliff. Like that was on the news because he was like on his phone and he just basically walked off a cliff.
Big Bear got like
tons of snow,
like 3 feet plus like drifts of 4 or 5 feet.
Like Big Bear, Lake Arrowhead, Mammoth, like all those places, so much snow. I mean, you look now, the mountains are beautiful.
Yeah, it's like we live in Switzerland.
It's freaking amazing. Like I went to Big Boy the other day, and from out there, like just it's like picturesque. Like I almost wanted to like picture a postcard of the mountains.
Yeah,
and it's pretty gorgeous. And so I've been doing that, watching TV. Like, I mean, I talked about it on the last episode when I did my little solo introduction. But like David Bowie dies, that sucked. But as Marin said, like he left us with such a huge amount of work. Up until like the day he died, he was working on stuff, and so his creative influence. So I'm not like devastated just because he left us with so much, and it like kind of lit a fire under me, like from like. I'm like my excuses like are worthless because like he made this amazing album when he was dying of cancer, and like I can't like it's so like I started writing, like instead of just like being on my phone and stuff and I'm watching Now 2-0. I decided because at first I'm like I'm gonna do it for everything. Then I'm like it doesn't really work like the style that I'm doing like for comedies or other shows. It's kind of like the melodramas are perfect because you can kind of make fun of them and it's also fun reading the plots because I'm basically like typing out what's happening and it's nuts. Like it's so bizarre. And especially for people that aren't familiar, they're like, what? So it's entertaining to read. And so like I kind of stuck with that and then wrestling. And then I'm putting the Now 2-0 recaps. I've already done 3 of them. And I've got a couple in the tank.
Those are on
BrendoMan.com. So BrendoMan.com, I've already posted more in this year than I have all of last year. And then MBWSpod.com, I've been doing every wrestling show I've been watching. We also had the big, I'll talk about that in a little bit. But so I've been doing those recaps.
And you wrote some other stuff.
I've written some other stuff, some other writing projects. Yeah, I got to send you that. And I had a freaking idea come to me in a dream that finally happened.
That actually is a good idea.
Yeah, because I told it to you.
Yeah, because I have those all the time, and then I wake up and
Flaming Globes of Zygmunt.
Yeah, it's like, that's stupid. Don't write that down.
But I woke up and I wrote a 4-page outline, just boom, 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 boom. And I think it's just because when I'm not watching TV now, I just have music playing constantly again. And I think I wasn't doing that for a while. And it's rekindled all because music has always been such a huge part of my life. And for a while, I just out of laziness or whatever. But now if the TV's not on, I've got music playing. I'm usually working on my writing stuff, or I'm on the web, or I'm tweeting.
Good.
And I've been, so I don't know. I feel really good. I'm feeling really positive about all that stuff. Forget all the job crap. Forget all the fact that in my unemployment, I've only got 5 months to figure something out.
Maximizing your time though. That's
good. I still sleep a lot.
Get a lot of rest. Eat a lot, sleep a lot, never be lazy.
Exactly. But it's been good. And then
the New Year's you went to
yes. I mean I talked about that with Derek.
That's true.
I went to the wedding. Congratulations, John and Veronica. They just got back from their honeymoon. Sound like they had a good.
John the coolest.
John Steele, man.
John Steele, Agent John Steele.
Yeah,
seriously,
I'd be Brendan Steele.
Yeah,
Steele, perfect.
John Steele.
So that's pretty cool. And the wedding was great. And I got to eat twice at Brew in one day.
Wow.
And I don't know if you ever got to go to Brew.
Wait.
This place that Brian.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I got to go there twice. I couldn't remember. I was making
freaking good. So for the reception, they had a menu, and I had the burger, but then it was really good. And then for the freaking New Year's dinner, so John got me a ticket for the New Year's dinner just because he's awesome.
Okay.
Because at first I wasn't gonna go because it was really expensive, and I was just gonna go home. But then I ended up staying in Irvine because I went and saw the Hateful Eight 70mm road show, and then I went to because I just wanted to hang out with John and Veronica, so they were going to Brew for New Year's, and it was a dinner thing, and so the selections you could choose, it was filet mignon or a T-bone and some other different so I had the T-bone because it came with this awesome mashed potato. No, it was bacon. So I don't know. It was so good. And then this creme brulee. This was the best creme brulee I've ever had. And oh my gosh! And the steak, man. It was I have dreams about this kind of steak. Dude, it was so good. So that was awesome. And then I left at 12:05 because and it was because I've dreamed about drive because I've never been on the road right after because I've heard stories about it, and it's freaking it's 28 days later, dude. There's nobody out, nobody outside, there's just nobody. It's dead. It's crazy, especially in that area. There's just nobody. It's driving through a wasteland. I got home in 50 minutes
from Irvine.
Yeah, it was crazy. The 91 was just empty. And so that was cool.
That's cool.
And I've been I've already gone to this was my this week is the third week this month the third week of Lucha Underground tapings.
That's right.
So I'll talk about that in a little bit. And then the Ultima Lucha is the 30th and the 31st. That's the last one. Season Ultima finale. Yeah. It's actually Ultima Lucha Dos, I guess, because it's the second year. But now I'm hearing that they might start filming season 3 as soon as March.
Wow.
And that's where so I'm ready, and I want season 3 because the only reason I've only missed 1 weekend of tapings, and it was because I slept in when the thing is. But now I'm ready, and I want to go to everyone for the whole season.
You're like a character almost now.
I'm in, and then as I think Steve pointed out, with the shaving of the head, it's kind of made it. It's gonna throw a wrench in the finding me because
that's true.
I look a little different, but
that's true.
I'm really easy to find now because they keep putting me like right on the floor. Like the last like 4 episodes.
That's awesome.
Sat in the same.
So when does it actually? When will people get a chance to see it?
The first episode of season 2, I think, is next week on El Rey.
Okay.
So it's starting soon.
So people can find it
every Wednesday at like 8 p.m. on El Rey Network.
All right.
And I'm seriously on every episode before episodes.
Wow.
Maybe 5. I think they taped the triple.
Okay.
They've been doing that lately because they've got some talent.
Right.
That they only have them for certain weekends, and so when they're there, they'll tape multiple.
Take advantage of it while they're there. That makes sense.
So, and then they've also been doing some. I think they're trying out guys for next season. They've been doing a lot of dark matches for they're clearly tryout matches, or they're like this last today's that I went to. There's a guy who like died, like his character died.
Oh, okay.
Not like in real life, but like his character got killed. It's the first time I've ever seen that in a wrestling show, but he seriously got killed. So they put a mask on him and they made him into like this different character. And I think they were testing it to see how the audience would react, and he got a pretty good reaction with his new character. So I wouldn't be surprised if he shows back up, because since they can put a mask on him, so they can reuse him.
Right.
Because his normal character without his mask on is dead.
Wow.
Got murdered.
Don't say who. That's
got his
spoiler,
head
right?
Bitten off. Well, that happened in first season.
Oh, okay.
He wasn't on this season at all.
I got you.
Yeah, and so they had him working a dark match with another guy that I think they were trying out, and they also tried out a guy who recently got let go from WWE.
Ooh.
And his tryout was okay. It's just some of these guys, it's hard working. It's a different style of wrestling.
Right.
And I think it went all right, but it seems like the consensus was it didn't go that well. But I don't know. I'm a little bit more lenient, I guess. I don't know. People are crazy. But so it's been a lot of fun. And also I almost got hit with a chair last week.
That's very exciting.
This is fun. Yeah. Oh yeah, there's a whole trio team that is repurposed luchadors. They just put these death masks on. They weren't actually dead, but they had they weren't really using the guys, and like 2 of them had their arms broken in in the storyline. Right. So then they just put these death masks on them, and then they can reuse them. That's kind of the great thing in Lucha Libre is you just put a different mask on a guy, and all of a sudden they're a whole different new guy. But yeah, so let's get into it. Let's get the reader mail going. So how does it now that you were in I just had one more thing. Yeah. You were in the Caribbean, wonderful climate, and now you get back here and it's freaking freezing.
Yes, it is. It was like in the 80s the whole time we were out there.
And then your heater blew up?
Oh, yeah, that's right. We came home. It was like 53 degrees in our house. And I go click on the heater, and it doesn't work anymore. So we had a couple of really cold nights at first, and then we got to get professional out to fix it. I tried my hand at all the little things, and it's not happening. I'm not handy. I changed the air filter and stuff. That's good, but yeah. So we just wound up all bundling up in blankets and cuddling together the first night because it was literally 53 degrees.
It's been very cold.
Yeah. So now we got some space heaters until we get the Pro out. So we're okay. Yeah, that was lame.
All right, reader mail. We got one.
Sweet.
You can send in your reader mail, BrendoMan@gmail.com, or go to radiobrendo.com. Click the contact button, or also Facebook, whatever.
All those.
The Denver
NTLD.
writes, Happy New Year's, fellas.
Happy New Year to you.
My pen pal answer, because I think we asked, like, who would you hang out with? Celebrity?
Yeah, I think so.
I think that was the pen pal question. My pen pal answer would be John Cleese. Hang out with him in his backyard with his Maine Coon cats would be fun.
I would like to hang out with him too. Although I feel like he'd be the grumpiest of them to hang out with.
Yeah, but it would probably be pretty awesome.
Oh yeah.
I'd let John Cleese be all surly with me.
Well, I would definitely. But I feel like Michael Palin would be like friendlier.
He'd be cool, and you could like probably like go traveling with him.
Yeah.
Like for like one of his travel books and like shows.
And Terry
and
Jones would
stuff.
like make you lunch.
Yeah.
I would love to hang out with John Cleese, don't get me wrong.
Gilliam would, who knows?
Yeah, that would just be, that's like a wild card. He might take you like, Hunter S. Thompsoning or something.
Something. It'd be nuts. Be a wild ride.
But that's a good call. Any Monty Python, really, I'd be down with.
All right. Did you guys or your Brendoites out there remember the PBS show Read All About It? I never heard of this
I did
show.
not know.
I think it was before our time.
Might be.
Had a catchy tune. For some reason, it popped in my head and looked it up it's on YouTube. We watched it in 6th grade on what seemed like a free day with popcorn in brown sandwich bags. It's very specific memory.
It is.
And we watched Dark Crystal that year as well during a partial eclipse.
Wow.
I miss those days. Anyway, it was a weird children's serial that had edge-of-your-seat adventure fun with elements of education sprinkled in. Maybe we can all watch it together in segments each week and discuss. And then he says, oh, dear, just watched a bit and it's bad. So he answered the question. Yeah. So there you go.
So we don't need to get together. But I am curious now to watch a little bit.
Read all about it.
Just watch a bit and it's bad. Oh, Steve Espinosa thinks he watched it in school too. I don't know. I don't remember that. Maybe if I saw it, it would ring a bell though.
Hope all is going well on the job hunt. It's going all right. Be good, be safe, and let them cookies cool.
That's right. Let your cookies cool, people.
Cool. Well, thank you.
Yeah, thanks for writing. One of the best places to let your cookies cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's on Stitcher.
How does that work?
Well, because if you're impatient, there might not be a new episode for the show you want to listen to.
Oh, that's true.
But if you let your cookies cool a little bit, the shows will pop up.
I've been listening to a lot of shows on Stitcher because I listen to them while I'm working on the puzzle, and I've been driving to LA a lot to go to the Lucha Underground tapings, and I listen to them on there. Today I listened to Colt Cabana, I listened to The Blaze, and I listened to Mark Maron talking to freaking Garrett Morris, and it was wow. Garrett Morris has some crazy stories, crazy. And it was awesome.
That's cool.
And hearing Maron talking about Bowie, Maron's always awesome. But so yeah, Stitcher's great. Go to radiobrendo.com, click the Stitcher button if you haven't subscribed yet. If you don't have the app, you can get it in your app store. If you haven't signed up for a free Stitcher account, use the code BrendoMan when you sign up for an account. But it's a really cool way to listen to all the podcasts, including all the Benview network of podcasts. I want to give a special shout out to Shut Up Leonard with their, I'm guessing it's the final episode for now.
Grand finale at least.
They got Dan Harmon on. They'd had him do the intro, which they snagged at like a Comic-Con before, but they sat down with Dan Harmon and asked him the tough questions, and he answered.
Community talking to the creator community.
That's pretty. That's the ultimate thing.
Yeah,
that's like if you had whatever podcast you have and you have that thing on there, like if you have like a baseball podcast and you interview.
So who do we want to meet, and let's do a podcast about that.
Yeah, well, that's where I'm like, if you did like a Stephen King podcast, I guess that'd be the ultimate thing.
Yeah, there you go.
Like, what if you get to go to Maine?
I want to do a William Goldman podcast.
Yeah, there you go.
Just do podcasts about the famous
all the people you want to meet.
That's the plan.
And eventually you'd be like, what? It's a podcast about you.
Yeah,
come on,
come
on, man. What kind of jerk are you? Won't go on this podcast. It's about you.
Well, that's pretty cool. Congratulations, guys.
And it's really good, and I listened to it, and it's great.
I can't believe it. That's amazing.
And Dan Harmon, like, especially at the end, he like just had all these cool, kind, inspirational words, and it was just really cool. If you're a fan of like anything like Harmontown community, it's a must listen. And he dropped some like big like bombs. Like I wouldn't say like huge, but like it was a must listen. If you go to BenviewNetwork.com, you listen to that. You got Benview on Spielberg. Benson, there's a new Benson's Boombox. There's been a couple new Benson's Boombox. Comic Nerd Unite. Dinner Party Small Talk. Extra Damage. Listen to Josh and Jesse talking about video games. Yep. I know Midnight Marinera has been doing a lot of stuff lately. Friday Night Film Fights. Popsicles, we had a recent episode. Yeah. And all the other stuff. Star Wars Nerds Unite, talking about that Star Wars. Because everybody's talking about Star Wars.
Talking about Star Wars. Because it's great.
Yeah.
It's going to make $1 billion domestically, I still say.
You know what else might make $1 billion domestically?
What's that?
Your website.
That's right.
If you get a website, we can't guarantee that.
It could, though.
But you never know.
We can't stop you from making $1 billion.
Go to dreamhost.com. Use the promo code Radio BrendoMan at checkout. You will save yourself $50.
Yeah.
Plus, you get a free domain registration.
Well, in fact, with that, you really only have to make $999,999,950 to get to your billion.
Yeah.
You got your $50 head start.
It's your first $50.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Of your empire.
Yep.
$1 billion empire.
Also,
speaking of billion, people of the internet.
Oh my gosh.
Learn what a billion is. And if you see that stupid meme, now there's one going around about Star Wars and like a billion divided by 300 plus million is not 4 million. And you know how it took me to figure that out? I typed it into, because I knew Google had a calculator. I seriously typed. You don't even have to type out the number. I typed out whatever, like because there was a lottery one. There's like this dumb meme going around. If we split the lottery winnings between everybody in the U.S., we'd all have $4 million. It's like, no, we would not, because here's what I did. The lottery jackpot was 1.8 billion. The U.S. population is 380 million. I typed into Google. Took me 10 seconds. 1.8 billion divided sign 380 million. And you know what it is? It's 4.3. $4.30. Same thing with this stupid Star Wars thing. Yep. Stop it.
Well, I feel like the Star Wars one was a joke response to it because it said it means we all paid, however many million.
But some people were like posting like, that's amazing. I'm like, if something, and also like Josh pointed this out because I complain about it on Twitter, something Josh and I agree on, thankfully. Right. But it's like, if something doesn't sound right on the internet, it probably isn't. And think about it for 2 seconds before you post something. But people just love to hit that share button, no matter what it is. And I'm like, because right away I saw that, and I immediately, I don't want to claim that I'm smarter, but I immediately was like, that is not, because I just in my head, I'm like, no, it's not. So then I actually did it, right. And I'm like,
you're street smart. You're internet street smart.
But math wise, I'm not a math genius. But even in my head, I'm like, that's not right. It's like the millions. Yeah. And then somebody pointed out on Twitter that there's a different way that people used to use billion, where it can mean like 100, like the number. But I'm like, that's great, but that's not the number. Like that is not the number. Like there's an actual number we're talking about here, and we're talking about whatever, either the Star Wars earnings or the lottery jackpot. It's not this figurative billion we're talking about. There is a literal number, and that, come on, people, just stop it. Oh, Steven says he checked out that Read All About It. Don't remember. It looks like it's before my time. I do remember watching Voyage of the Mimi, starring a young Ben Affleck.
I also remember that.
I don't know what the heck is that.
He was I think it was like an educational trip.
Oh, one of those. Okay, I think I do.
There's each episode following.
Now I do remember that.
It's been a long time, but
I like that. Ghost PBS shows. That pretty much was like Ghost Rider and Reading Rainbow.
Well, the ultimate PBS show was Monty Python.
Yeah,
that's how I got to watch Monty Python as a kid.
I always told my story as I would watch it sometimes at home, and then I would try to, because my grandma would watch all the other BBC stuff, like what's that freaking Vet? Like the Vet and like the different, like all those British BBC, because those would all be on. So she would watch those. Then we would watch Doctor Who together, and that was like Tom Baker Doctor Who.
Right.
And then Monty Python would come on, and like 9 times out of 10, she would make me turn it off, because inevitably there'd be like a naked woman or something, or just something like dirty. So, but if she wasn't around, then I would watch it.
Yep.
And so that was also I think that was most Americans.
Right.
Because we didn't have BBC or anything.
Right.
So like, and so that
there
was a lot of our
tapes in the video store, and plus that was it.
Yeah. So yes. Sent to his grandpa to sail with him. Grandpa was grumpy and had researchers on board. By the end, Grandpa starts loving Ben again.
That's the Voyage of the BBC. I wasn't that far. I think it was something like that.
And there was also like all those other Father Ted mysteries. And
well, then they always had like Poirot.
Yeah.
And the Agatha Christie ones. I always like those.
Yeah.
And Sherlock Holmes, they'd always show stuff. So
I remember, there was that, what was it, like mystery something that had the Edward Gorey like illustration.
Yeah. Well, that was like the segment, it was mystery, and then they'd have different, like they had Poirot, or they had.
And I just remember that intro used to scare the crap out of me.
Like walking along with the thing. Yeah, good.
You know what else is good?
What else is good?
Amazon Prime is really good.
Yeah, it is.
And they actually are adding more and more stuff. Now they're talking about, I forgot what they just announced something. Amazon Prime members are going to get, they're always announcing cool stuff.
Tons of stuff.
The streaming is getting better and better, more stuff on streaming. You can actually purchase additional a la carte channels if you want.
They have Mortimer Gibbons on there. I mean, that's enough right there to get Amazon Prime.
Not to mention the free 2-day shipping, no minimum order size. Amazon Prime Music, their library gets bigger every day. They're always doing like crazy giveaways, and it's $99 per year, but you can get a 30-day free trial if you go to radiobrendo.com, click the Amazon Prime free trial link. And whether or not you have Amazon Prime, we all shop on Amazon. Maybe you're not ready to make that commitment yet, but it's still a great place. Do all your shopping, and you got different birthdays, Mother's Day,
all kinds of stuff.
Things.
Valentine's Day.
You can get flowers on there.
Sure.
You get chocolates, candy, all that stuff. Go to radiobrendo.com, click the Amazon link, and it is discounted this weekend for $75.
Oh, really?
For brand new subscribers.
Okay.
So you can also get that deal.
And then when you do that, click the link for the Amazon.
And then order like normal.
And then it helps us out, and we read the stuff that you bought on our show.
Anonymously.
Of course.
We don't know who bought what, unless you're Phil and I watch you open your Amazon packages.
You have to be careful not to open your stuff in front of Brendo.
So we've got an Apple Watch band, Moco Luxury Genuine Leather Watch. This is one of those like
where they just put as many words
watch band strap double tour replacement for 38mm Apple Watch models, not fit 42mm version.
2015.
Brown. So it's a brown one.
Yeah.
And then we got another one, a Phenom fully magnetic closure clasp mesh loop Milanese stainless steel bracelet strap. So it's a watch band bracelet stab mesh loop, like every possible description.
Yeah.
And this is for the 42mm one.
All right, so you got two different ones.
Three.
Oh.
Maybe somebody was covering all their bases here with this is a charging dock.
With non
for the Apple Watch.
And multiple wire slot compatible with nightstand mode.
Wow. Somebody got an Apple Watch. Yeah. And they got some bands and a dock for it, I guess.
I approve, but make sure you're not letting that thing go off in the movie theater. That's all. Be a responsible Apple Watch owner.
Come on, people.
Because there are some people out there that are obnoxious with that.
It's bothering me.
Yeah. But there's, people can be responsible.
We got an Amazon Basics USB 3.0 extension cable. I have one right here. They're awesome because you can so this way I've got a little USB thing right here.
Yeah.
They're great.
You don't have to reach behind.
And those are
proud they got the Amazon
super
Basics.
cheap. It's great. No, there's no reason to spend more money. You can get HDMI cables, all kinds of cool.
Don't buy a gold something.
Yeah, all that other crap. So yeah, it's a good deal. Then we got Apache Mills 60-something Masterpiece Aberdeen entrance mat.
What's the picture?
I want to see what this. It's a fancy doormat. Ooh,
looks like
fancy.
stone kind of.
Yeah, it's
Nice.
only $12.
Good deal.
#1 bestseller in kitchen rugs.
Wow.
Number
It's
one.
a very specific ranking. Not like bathroom rugs or doormats.
And you got Eureka Easy Clean corded handheld vacuum in deep blue.
So they can vacuum their new mat.
Yep. We got Bags on Board bone dispenser.
It's a bone dispenser.
Something for pets.
Oh, okay. Not a serial killer. Oh.
Yeah. Oh, it's a
for
bone,
like the Scooper
and
thing.
it's poop bags in a bone.
I gotcha.
So they're poop bags.
That makes sense.
Only $4.
It's a new Dookie Dock.
It's an add-on item, so you tack it onto your ad.
for
your
hands-free
order.
poop bag holding.
It's pretty new Dookie Duck.
Dookie Dock.
I kind of want to read reviews for this.
Dookie. Yeah, what's a bad review on this?
Oh,
You got a couple.
it's got 4.5 stars.
What do people not like?
Come on. Mostly good, but breaks easily if dropped. I'm on my third one of these and will not be buying it again. Why are you dropping what kind of clumsy person is that you're dropping these bone dispensers? The problem is with the design, especially that it breaks easily if dropped. The small loop attached to the main plastic bone is very fragile at the attachment point, and since it's part of the mold, cannot move. It sounds like you're a clumsy person that drops things all the time. I don't see that's how it's Amazon's fault.
If you accidentally drop your leash with this thing attached.
Oh, you attach it to the leash.
Okay. Well, that might be.
It'll probably cause the ring to snap it off. It's not a bad product and works well.
All right, I guess that's legit.
That was 2 stars. Is there any
What's the one?
star?
There's a 1 star right there.
Cute, non-functional design for a wonderful product. These are like the most passive-aggressive. Like, I've been a Bags on Board fan and consumers for over 10 years.
What?
When we adopted $2 recently, naturally we purchased Bags on Board for each. For this, we got the classic canister with a new ridged rubberized attaching strap. And for her, this bone model in pink with the snap-on attaching mechanism. Strongly both attach well to their reel-type leashes. The loop mechanism attached the bone style to a reel in seconds. However, twice now, the bone style is the same thing. The snap before even getting out of our backyard, leaving a trail of blue bags behind us. The bone dispenser is real cute. Hopefully the duct tape will fix it. But had I known the thing would not have stayed shut, I would have chosen another, much less cute model.
All right.
Broke 2 within a month.
So I guess they're little
extremely
flimsy.
fragile, breaks easy. These won't last long. So that does seem consistent.
But as an add-on item, I guess if you're
It's
just
$4.
Yeah. All right. Interesting.
McFarlane Toys, The Walking Dead TV, 10-inch Michonne Deluxe figure.
Ooh.
We got Star Wars Revenge of the Sith Black Series, titanium Anakin's Jedi Interceptor.
All right.
We got the Clone Wars Black Series, titanium Republic gunship. Phantom Menace Black Series, titanium Sith Infiltrator. And then we got Activision Skylanders Giants Scarlet Ninjini. Is that you?
That wasn't me, no.
We got Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare 2 for Xbox One. We got Warner Brothers Lego Marvel Avengers, which is an awesome game.
Yeah, it looks really
Xbox One.
good. I haven't got it yet. But.
So it's Marvel. Is that like the sequel to Marvel Superheroes?
Yeah, I guess so. But it's like the storyline focuses on the Avengers, but you can still unlock, all the tons of characters and stuff.
But didn't the storyline for Marvel Superheroes focus on the Avengers?
I think it's more like the movie, The Avengers.
Like the Ultron movie?
Like Ultron,
okay.
I want to say. But I don't know if
because Marvel Superheroes was kind of the movie. Like you fight Loki and stuff.
Yeah. But it was also like Doctor Doom.
That's true.
And, the other guys.
They're always coming out with new Lego. They're going. You okay there?
Yeah.
Exploding.
Exploding.
Oh, that's what the Prime is. Prime has a new thing where you get
Oh,
like
yeah.
20% discount on all new video games.
Yeah, pre-orders or buying them within like 2 weeks.
That's freaking nuts.
Was it
So
30%?
Prime members, it's like because it's $47.99.
Yeah,
That's
$60
on a new game.
That's really good.
That's freaking awesome, you guys. You'll save so much money.
So it's 20% off.
20%.
Yeah, that's really
20%
good.
off all new games.
It's awesome.
It's freaking crazy. It's crazy, you guys.
Good deal. Well, thank you guys for buying all that stuff. That's really cool. We appreciate your help.
Yeah.
And keep it up.
You know what else you can keep up?
Keep up
going to our Facebook group.
Lots of good stuff.
Go to RadioBrendo.com. Yeah, you were behind.
I was. I had
people were tagging you and stuff, and you weren't around.
I might have missed some of the things. I tried to go through and find everything, but I had like over 100 notifications when I got back from the trip.
Yeah, because you were on international waters.
Yeah, there's no. I mean, you could pay for like their online.
I remember it was like something crazy.
It was something like $50.
Well, because I remember while we were on the cruise, I went into they had like a computer lab, but you had to pay
there,
and it was like $15 for like 5 minutes or something. Because I went online long enough because it was Mike's birthday and I'd forgotten to order him something for his birthday, so I went on Amazon and quickly ordered him some things, and it still cost me like $15. Because like internet, it's like satellite internet.
Yeah.
And it's like stupid expensive.
Oh, they do have this cool thing though on it now. They have a Disney Cruise app.
Yeah.
And it only works on their like intranet, you know, on the boat. But it, like you can all your schedule for the events.
That's cool.
Movie schedules, the menu for all the meals and all the different restaurants. So you can see where you want to go eat. Like everything. Like it's just all the
now I'm just thinking about eating on a cruise.
Oh, so good.
How long did it take you to get used to this not eating?
Even just today, like I'm finally like, okay, I can do this. But like the day after is the worst because you're just like you're used to just having something constantly to eat, and then you're like, no, can't do this anymore. To buy all that stuff, bro. Also, be sure to check out our subreddit, Kickstarter. Yeah, so you might have seen I posted on. I think I did it in the group. I might have done it on the main page too. But the records have shipped to us. They are coming internationally, so it might be another week or two, maybe. Yep. I mean, you know how that goes. It's tough to know for sure. But getting the records, they're done. They've been shipped, so we'll be getting them very soon. We'll keep you posted on it. What if we play one and it's all messed up? Oh gosh, after all this, I really hope not. But I think it's fine. I have no reason. I actually was talking with Clark today and told him who he ordered through, and he was like familiar with them and said that was cool. So. Well, that's like because you checked with a bunch of I mean, I did research. It's not like I just picked the first thing I came up with. And I'm excited. I'm so excited. It should be very cool. I'm excited to see the artwork and everything. Yes. It's gonna be so awesome. Then now that you're back, we've got quite a list of things we gotta start working on. We gotta finish. We gotta do those commentaries. We gotta do bonus episodes. We gotta start working on a freaking Brax book. We gotta do some other things. So we're gonna be busy. Yeah, we got a lot of stuff keeping us busy, but it's good. But it's good. The records are almost here, so that's a big chunk of it. So. You can order the shirts soon then? Yeah. Well, because we would like to send it all out, you know. Yeah. Although I don't know, records and shirts might not mix. We'll have to send them separately. We'll see. All right, we got don't forget the Clicker Heroes clan. There is still space. Things are going good. It's Radio Space BrendoMan. Clicker Heroes is available on Steam for free, or just go to clickerheroes.com and you can play it on the web. It's a fun little game. Don't forget JanelleandPhil.com and MyVacationPants.com. Yeah. That's Janelle's new project. So that one wasn't up the last time we talked. Yeah. So MyVacationPants.com. Well, there's a link to it on JanelleandPhil.com on like all the other stuff. Yeah. That's like the hub. Yeah, Janelle and Phil. For your guys' is our hub. Project. Phil and Janelle, if you want, Phil and Janelle, either way. Or Janelle and Phil. About both. Yeah. But yeah, she's been doing like some really cool vacation stuff. I don't know if you good traveling advice. She just posted one about using Google Flights. It was really cool. Yeah. So you can like the Facebook page. She's got cool Instagram pictures. Yeah. If you want to learn more about traveling, especially traveling with kids, but also just general cool stuff too. Janelle is like it's everybody that knows Janelle. She's the go-to for like planning trips. The best vacation I've ever been on in my life was a Janelle Vecchio. Yeah. And she, I mean, down to like planning all the meals and everything, like all through Walt Disney World, like. She's good. She's good.
She needs to do a post about Walt Disney World because that would probably be huge.
Well, she's got like a whole list. She went through and wrote down like, over 100 different things that she could like write about, to keep stuff going.
Yeah.
But yeah, that'll definitely be one. That's going to be like a bigger one, so.
Yeah, so that's at myvacationpants.com. But everything, the hub, JanelleandPhil.com. Check it out. Also, like I said, I've been updating BrendoMan.com. If you want to read some humorous 90210, Beverly Hills 90210, I'm starting where I was at, so I'll probably loop back around maybe at some point. But I'm on season 6.
What are they on the Blaze?
They're starting the season 3 episode 1 drops tomorrow.
You're like way ahead.
Yeah, but it's fun. And I think I can say this. Derek and I are going to be back on the Blaze later on this season.
Nice.
We're going to be reviewing the Christmas episode,
cool.
which is completely insane. I've told you about this. It's a Wonderful Life thing where it's these angels and like there's divine intervention involved in saving the gang from a death situation. It's crazy. So I'm very excited about that. Lizzie and Kat are awesome. You can check that out at 90210blaze.tumblr.com. Also on Stitcher.
Nice.
And they've been having some great episodes. Let's see what else here. mbwspod.com. I reviewed last week I reviewed all the WWE shows. I reviewed Raw, then I reviewed NXT, and then SmackDown. So if you don't have time, if you're a wrestling fan and have time to watch all those, I'll watch them for you. And I run down all the matches and promos and give some commentary. I don't try to be too because I don't so a lot of times I'll read like rundowns of things and like it's too opinionated, but I try to come up with some things and some of my patented Brendo wrestling insights, but not too much.
So the Mr. Brendo Wrestling
show
pod.
And also Long Beach Comic Expo.
Yeah.
February 20th and 21st. That's coming up fast.
And
it's gonna be at the Long Beach Convention Center. We are confirmed.
We're on the
panel.
docket.
We don't have the exact schedule. Also, just keep in mind coming up WonderCon, as you were asking about when it is. It is March 25th and 27th through 27th.
Yes.
That's at the LA Convention Center this year.
It's different.
Because they are doing construction on the Anaheim Convention Center.
Right.
So, yeah, I was talking to Jesse today. The Metro definitely is probably going to be what we're going to want to do.
I think, that's
because otherwise we're going to have to park in the boondocks, and walking out there at night is very scary.
Yeah.
Because unless you want to pay $25, and the Metro drops you off like directly across the street from the convention center, and we can get on at Pasadena, and I think it'll be fine.
Yeah.
And it'll save us money and probably possibly I don't want to get jumped again.
Yeah, that'd be good. I'd like to not do that.
Because when I went to Hell in a Cell, I was telling Jesse this, some tough boys kind of followed me for a while, and then some other people luckily were around.
Right.
I didn't know what was going on. I don't like it. And these were tough boys. They're probably again, I try. This is where I don't know what's viable, because as soon as you leave that LA Live area, you're in the worst part of downtown LA.
Yeah, if you're leaving late at night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is that Carl's Jr. that serves beer, which is weird.
Really?
Remember we went in there?
I don't remember having beer.
We didn't have beer, but they had beer there.
That's weird.
We went in there. I think it's I don't know, unauthorized. I don't know how that works.
It's Carl's with a K, that's why.
Yeah. All right. You have some stuff. We already talked about your vacation.
Talked a lot about vacation. Well, actually, I don't know if you have it on there. Oh, you do. Okay, we'll talk about it when we get to you. Just a couple quick things. So with Popbox Music, we got a lot of exciting things. We just, had the Vaudeville Theater Volume 2 came out. That was just come out, I think, when we did the last one, which was our 15th anniversary celebration thing. It's on iTunes and Spotify and all those kind of things.
I listened to it on Spotify. I tried to figure out, so in order to claim to have an official artist page on Spotify for BrendoMan All-Stars, you have to have over so if you want to do us a favor, but it's going to take a long time. You have to have 1,000 followers.
Oh, wow. Really?
In order to claim your artist page on Spotify. And even then, you don't get to write your biography. They take your biography from allmusic.com, and it's entirely up to them who gets a biography. But I can at least claim the page, but it takes 1,000 followers.
Wow.
So we need everybody to follow BrendoMan All Stars. You just type in BrendoMan space All Stars, all one word, BrendoMan, and then space All Stars, one word. That's 2 words, but All Stars is 1 word. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Into Spotify, click follow. We need 1,000 people to do that.
Man.
So,
but it is on there, so that's cool. And more to come soon. So anyway, Radium is one of the bands on that CD. They were actually the second CD released back in 2002 is when it came out. And they did one like follow-up little EP after that, and then they broke up. And after doing this whole, I don't know if this is what kicked it off, doing the compilation or not, but they, Joey, the main guy from Radium, sent me a message and said they're going to get back together. They're getting the whole lineup back together. They're recording a new EP, and they're going to be releasing some new music, which is really cool. And they're doing an Indiegogo account or project for that. It's Indiegogo, right? Yeah, Indiegogo. And anyway, so that's pretty exciting. If you look up Radium on Indiegogo, I'm pretty sure that's the only band that pops up, Radium Band, you know. So that's exciting. And they're going to release it through Popvox Music, which is cool. And then a little bit further down the line, this is another band. This band actually goes much further back with the Popvox Music and with me. One of the first bands I ever booked when I was in high school was the Spivvies.
Yep.
We've talked about them on the show before.
You were in the band.
I joined the band like near the end of their tenure.
You also were with them as like a sound guy. Yeah. You toured with them.
They're the band I toured across the country for 3 summers with. Did festivals, clubs, you know, churches, bars, everything in between. And anyway, they I joined the band actually. As a
I
bass
saw
player.
them when I was in high school too. Like we both,
because they were down in San Diego.
They would come down to San Diego.
They actually were from Point Loma. They met at Point Loma and stuff. So anyway, they did stuff long before. They had a song on their first ever CD that we did, which was one of the last songs they ever released. And they are getting back together, including me, as part of the band. And we're doing a Kickstarter. We're going to launch it in April. And we're doing an EP that was recorded back in the day that was never released. And then a brand new recording, which I will be on. I've never actually been on one of the recordings. I joined after the last recording. I was in the music video, however, which we need to put that up there.
It's on YouTube.
I know, but like on ours.
Yeah.
Because it's just somebody that had it and like put it up. So, but anyway, so that's coming. That's going to be super exciting. 2 new CDs, and yeah, so I'm very excited about that. So these babies, keep an eye out for that. We'll keep you posted.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Well, yesterday we went to the Arcade Expo in Banning.
Well, I think I still have my bracelet on. I do. I'm gonna take it off, but
I've already gone through 2 bracelets, so I had a bracelet today. It was awesome because we went on Friday because today, wasn't it Melissa's birthday today?
Well, no, it's Aurora, my niece.
Oh, Aurora's birthday.
Well, her birthday was a few days ago, but then they're doing her birthday party today. And then they wound up, anyway, we're celebrating with them tomorrow now after all of that.
Well, either way, you had stuff.
Regardless,
we had
I went
stuff.
Out to the Spivvies thing.
I went to wrestling.
Well, and you had wrestling.
And also it was really expensive today, but there was a Groupon deal yesterday where it was 2 tickets for $30. Yeah. And even though we didn't get to go for the full day, it was still, we got a good like
8 hours.
8 hours of video game playing in. And this year it seemed like it was even better organized than last year.
They expanded a little bit.
There was more stuff. We went to a like movie thing.
Yeah, like a mini film festival.
And like with Billy Mitchell and Walter Day, and it was basically just like come hang out with Billy Mitchell and Walter Day, and like they were talking to us.
We gave us popcorn. There.
Billy Mitchell talked to us. He shook my hand.
Yep.
And told a bunch of stories. It was really cool. Billy Mitchell is really cool. He's like he's the exact opposite of what they portray him as in King of Kong.
which he claims he's never.
He says he's never
watched.
even watched it. Which
and for listeners, if you haven't, it's a super
should
great
watch
documentary.
King of Kong. It's amazing. And he's so this time he talked about like Phil asked him like about like what was the longest he played a game.
Yeah,
is that what you asked him?
Yeah, what was the longest
and he said
session?
He played Centipede for 47 hours.
Yeah,
like that's freaking nuts.
And he was saying he was telling us cool because like some games you can bank up enough guys.
Yeah, he said like Defender, you can bank up like 200
actually, like,
lives.
take a nap or go to the bathroom or eat.
But Centipede, you can only bank 9 guys.
And very little time to like run and grab stuff.
And so
go
like
to the bathroom.
He told us how he like it was just so crazy. And like,
can you imagine? I mean, we were there for 8 hours.
And then I looked up. So today I looked up because before he did video games, he did pinball.
Right.
I looked up some of his pinball scores. Like it was freaking nuts. And then the amount of games he has, like video games, he has it is crazy. So you and I were talking about how like these guys, they're operating on like a whole different plane
Their
of like
brains are wired
because it's like you and I we like when you think about it, like we've been playing video games our entire life and like but we're nowhere near like I can't do any of that. And like he talked about playing, he could play like he played on Donkey Kong on one life. He got 850,000 points. And at that point, the world record was like 25,000.
Yeah.
And he got 850,000 points on one guy.
Well, he was saying like some games like Defender, if you know
people
it, like
could play forever.
Play forever. You never
like
die.
That's insane.
Yeah.
It's like Defender's hard as crap. Like it's crazy hard.
Yeah. But I guess if you just know how it works.
And like again, the way their brains, like I think they just because like I mean if you see King of Kong, like Steve Wiebe like takes a grease pencil and he's like outlining the patterns of the like barrels in Donkey Kong.
Right.
Like that I can't even comprehend that kind of stuff. Like it's
the closest thing to being like super good at a game for me is like Tetris or some other like Dr. Mario. And even those, like amongst my friends, I'm like one of the best players. But then I go like play people online and I'm just like, forget it. Like there's always gonna be people that are
There's always some dude in Japan. It's usually a dude.
I mean, I do pretty good on those, but
well, I remember you like made it to the ranking boards on like Tetris and like some of those other games.
But I mean, like in the top like 100 or 150 or something. Not like and those guys that are at the top are like just leagues ahead, you know. So,
but it was cool.
It was
talking
super cool.
To them.
Yeah,
they were really cool.
I didn't know what to expect, and we were just like it was us and probably like 25 other people in the room, you know,
just kind of hanging out and popcorn.
We played some great games.
So many games, awesome pinball games. Mark Ariano was there.
Yeah, I got to hang out with him.
And we hung out with him. We went to the Starcade, which it was like 40 degrees outside. Yeah. So they had this camping area set up, which there were people camping, which holy crap, I don't want to camp in Banning in like January. That sounds awful, but more power to you. If you're coming from out of town, I guess like
it's a good option.
And it's compared to the hotels and whatnot. Plus, so in the camping area, they had like these areas where they had a couple pinball machines and they had like a bunch of arcade machines. And Mark played
Mark found a crazy one.
It was Osama.
It was Galaga, but it was the Osama bin Laden edition.
And you're shooting Osama.
Yeah, and basically all the little aliens are Osama bin Laden's or like his minions or whatever. And then instead of a spaceship, you're a helicopter like firing missiles at them.
And then also they had Ladybug.
And then Ladybug, which is great.
And then you found your Pepper 2.
Pepper 2 was there again.
Pepper 2
I took up the whole leaderboard on that this time again.
We played Tubin for like an hour, and you got to like these because I left because I was getting tired, and so I like went and sat down. And while I sat down, you made it to the hell level of Tubin.
So wait, in case you're not familiar, Tubin is a game where you
go down a river.
You're in an inner tube and you like
bounce an Atari game from the 80s.
You avoid like the branches.
Throw soda cans.
It's like very like cartoony.
Yeah.
But you keep going and going and you know because
this would have been like hundreds of quarters.
Yeah, because this just kept going. So eventually, like each little area is themed. So like there's an Arctic one and there's like one that's desert, et cetera, et cetera. But then it gets crazier. And so one of them you go to hell, and you're like Satan is throwing. Again, you're in like cute little.
Like, how have I never heard of the hell level on
Satan
Tubin?
throws like
Like
spears at you, and there's like.
Because when I got there, you were on like a dinosaur level.
The dinosaur one, and then there's like this, like the dark, like bizarre world,
pyramids,
where like
like
pyramids with eyes spinning, skulls are coming after you. These hands are like just like wandering, and like
you got to a dragon level.
Yeah, like a fantasy dragon one where there's wizards and stuff. This is an inner tubing game, and I played this game my whole childhood. They had one at the pizza place in Big Bear, and I was pretty good at it, where I could get like almost to the end on a quarter, And I never
the end of the first course.
Like the end of the first like course. Yeah, there's multiple, and on each course there's like 8 different levels or something like that. So I could almost get to the end of like that first one.
Yeah.
But this is like 4 buried, way deep in there. A lot of quarters later. And it gets a lot harder real quick. So yeah, Tubin. I wonder, I gotta look up and see like how many levels.
Play a ton of Super Sprint.
A lot of Super Sprint.
You got to the point where you like had almost fully souped up your car. Played Star Wars. I got pretty far in Return of the Jedi, which I never had done before. Like, I got to the point, I never gotten to the part where you get to be Chewbacca in the ATST.
Yeah,
but then that got like ridiculously hard because you have to shoot these rolling logs and like you have like 0. It was like level 4 or 5, and so I got that part, and then you switch over to. So first you're like on the speeders, then you're in the Millennium Falcon, then you blow up the reactor core, then you go back to the jungle, then you do another speeder level, then you're Chewbacca in the ATST, then while you're in the Chewbacca ATST, it flips over to the Millennium Falcon and you're fighting a giant Star Destroyer. Like, it was pretty nuts. I never gotten that far before.
That first
I was on a roll.
On speeder bikes, I'm terrible at.
Well, I found the trick. There's all these things that the way you can get pretty far is there's all these traps that the Ewoks set up, and if you go through them, and they'll kill the speeder bike behind you.
Oh.
That's the trick.
Okay.
So like there'll be ones where they have a rope. There's ones where they have the logs that smash, and if you go through those,
I don't think I've ever seen any of those.
Oh,
I'm terrible at those.
Well, it is hard to see the trees. The colors, there's not
like where. Yeah. Where's the hit? Because you're at like a 45-degree angle or whatever.
Well,
but
it's definitely. There's a reason why it's the rarest of those because it's like really hard.
There was a guy playing the original Star Wars cabinet that I was like waiting behind. He went to like wave 7 or 8, I think. Like, it was nuts. He was amazing. He's like, I haven't played this in 30 years, but
yeah.
And then they have a whole bank of like they have Dragon's Lair and they have all these other.
They had like
games
the weird one. They had like this weird Japanese one that was like.
Those are just like, here, put a quarter in and then watch the thing die. Because in this one, when you lose right away because you have no idea what you're doing, the guy shoots you and then it shows you like hanging from like a hangman's noose.
Yeah.
So like that happens. It's the whole game is over in like 5 seconds.
Super Don Quixote made no sense either.
Not at all.
Like,
not at all.
Dude, those games are crazy.
But it's cool on free play because you can actually try and not want to punch someone.
Yeah. And then Bubble Bobble. I love Bubble Bobble so much.
We played co-op of that for a while.
And then we found out that if you die at the same time, you can't continue.
Yeah.
So one of you has to die and the other one stay on both. Because then you could just. And then when we came back, it was out of credits. And then like just tons of other games. So they're seriously again. Music. There's some cool music and like. Between the pinball and the video games is like 800 machines.
Oh yeah.
There's easily, and the bulk of it, he does have there's like 600 pinball machines.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy. Like almost every pinball machine you can think of in existence.
And then he got some new ones.
They had a bunch of new ones. They had the Legends of WrestleMania one. They had like a new Walking Dead one.
They had a new pinball.
There was like a new pinball
that I'd never seen.
Jackbot.
Yeah. There was like a spin-off kind of thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, some good stuff.
They had like a lot of really cool pinball machines.
We played the Joust head-to-head one.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Once we figured that out.
They had that. They had the they fixed the Hercules
the
machine.
giant one.
So because last it was like a group effort to just get the plunger going, and now it's like a one shot, and it uses a pool cue ball for the pinball. Like, and it's just ginormous.
Paddles are like these giant buttons.
Freaking huge.
It's really fun.
It's pretty cool. It was fun. We had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
They had awesome hot dogs.
Oh my gosh!
It was,
they had little carts outside.
Mac and cheese, spicy sriracha, with a hot link.
Plus, we added onions on top.
Yeah, and they had the special sodas. So they had a Shirley Temple.
Yep. And
I had a Jolt Red Eye. And
we had that while we watched. What was that first guy's name? Do you remember? I got his card, but
it was some weird name that I don't remember.
And then the other guy
was Timon Marmex.
Yeah, Timon Marmex.
He's always cool.
He's the guy that did Rhythm Core Alpha 2.
Yeah, wait, I think I might have it here.
Oh yeah, we should give that guy a shout out because he was really cool.
Yeah, he was cool. He had his sequencer on his PSP.
Yeah.
And
so it's all like electronic or various video game type related things, music wise.
So let's see. It was Sova Rosum.
Yeah.
And you can go check out his stuff online. And then the other one is Timon Marmex. And he's cool. He writes, he has 2 DS. I think he has 2 different ones. But his main one on the 3DS
is
Rhythm Core Alpha.
Yeah. I think it's Rhythm Core Alpha 2 is the most,
So he has, and you can, he mates those, they're cool music things on the DS. And he's a cool guy.
Yeah.
His character.
So it's good expo.
And it was really cold outside.
Oh my gosh, it was freezing.
It was really cold. But it was still really fun.
Yeah.
And it seems like they're getting bigger and bigger. And Billy Mitchell and Walter Day were just like super.
Oh, they were
stoked on it. So like I'm hoping, because Walter Day's Twin Galaxies, they kind of came on as like sponsor, like the whole thing, which I still am a little bitter because I think as soon as Twin Galaxies signed on, like that's when the prices got jacked up.
Yeah.
But it's still better because it's awesome. I've never been to anything like that. And like Billy Mitchell and Walter Day were like, there is nothing like this. Like even the one in Santa Rosa is like not.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, if you think about the value, at least on the $15 day, I mean,
it's so nuts.
It's crazy. So it's worth it.
And they had like an awesome DJ that's playing mostly like 80s songs and like
did like a
cool little music clips. And there was a trivia. He was doing a trivia contest. So we saw him give a guy a Retron 5. We're like, oh my gosh.
Yeah,
so
like, ran over.
And I got 1 point in the trivia contest, but you had to get 2 points.
We were too late in the game.
And they were too late. But I feel like if we had gotten there at the beginning.
Because you knew way more than those. Those guys went through like 10.
I was like, I was like freaking out. I'm like, I didn't even like most of, and I got Jaws like immediately to the point where I'm almost like, wait, is it?
Yeah, then you like second guessed yourself. And he's like, oh, now you don't know it.
But and nobody else raised their hand.
He did do that one awkward, like, there's a guy and a girl that were like up there that were the finalists, and he goes to the girl, do you have a boyfriend? And she's like, no. And he's like, do you want a boyfriend? She's like, not really. And he's like, oh, sorry, guy. So the guy that was up there was like this really awkward like pause, but whatever.
But it was an awesome, because it was just cool, just playing those old video games and hearing that music, and like it just created this, because it was like because that's the music that they would play in the arcade. So it was like being back in time, like a huge. You could tell it was about a lot of people our age.
Oh yeah,
and they were all just like, it was just such a cool vibe.
There was a few kids there, but the average age was probably 40.
Like at least like late 30s, 40s. And the pinball, the age ran even higher.
Yeah.
The pinball room was full of like older dudes. And like those guys, like those pinball wizard guys, like that's another breed of gamer.
Because we go in there and try them all. I'm kind of good at pinball.
Yeah.
That's about it. I'll like jump on a pinball game and I'm out in 30 seconds. Like, I don't know how those guys do it.
Yeah. It was awesome though. So you should definitely, if you're in Southern California at all, check that out. Arcade Expo. I think they're still doing them. One and the next one will be in October.
Yeah, I think that's what they're saying.
But I know he's still trying with the stupid city of banning.
I wish they would.
Because if that was, I know he wants it. Because if it was opened up and there was like a season pass, like I would freaking live there, dude. I'd be there right now.
Where's Brendan?
I would be figuring out how to do Radio BrendoMan from that place.
Yep.
And we got to get BrendoMan All Stars.
Yeah, we do.
in there because I feel like that'd be a good way.
It would be a perfect fit based on what they have. You know?
Yeah, totally.
So, yeah.
Doing all right there. All right. Well, in addition to David Bowie, we also lost Alan Rickman this week.
Yeah.
Freaking what's happening over in England, man?
I don't know.
I'm worried. I'm worried of like who's like
next?
what's. But this is I realized like we're at this point where like that whole generation they're all getting old.
Yeah.
And like it's gonna be a rough time for a while. And I guess that's just part of life is like
part of getting old.
And then like your heroes, they're all gonna die, just like you're gonna die. And we're getting to that point where like we're gonna start losing people, like a lot of people.
I saw someone on Facebook was like, I'm afraid now anytime I see a picture of someone I like a celebrity on the internet, I'm like, no. Like,
yeah. I'm just like, oh man. And like, cause like we brought up the Pythons, they're all pretty up there.
Yeah, they are.
And just things like that. It's all these other people. I mean, I remember as a kid when I discovered that like both Shel Silverstein and Roald Dahl were dead, and like that was rough because I'm like this hero, and now like we just
finished Henry Huggins, and Beverly Cleary is like
she's like 90 something.
Yeah, she's like 97 or something.
She's really old.
The last one she wrote was the last Ramona book.
Yeah.
So anyway.
But so I started watching the Harry Potter movies again because I kind of taken a break from that, and I'm on I'm not Goblet of Fire. I'm wrapping up Chamber of Secrets. No, I finished Chamber of Secrets. I'm wrapping up Prisoner of Azkaban, which Prisoner of Azkaban, it like and I actually like the first two more than I remember.
Okay.
Especially after reading the books are so fresh in my mind. Like I think Columbus did a really good job, and the music throughout is awesome. Like, I mean, it's John Williams,
right?
And it's really good. And then this one, Cuarón, I mean, one of my favorite directors, and he just took it to this like it's very different, but it took it to this dark place that it needed to go to for the third movie because that's where the books start taking this turn that doesn't stop for the rest of the series, and like the stakes just keep getting higher and higher and higher. And I think Cuarón gave it this next level boost, and he kind of put a spin on everything,
right? And
it's so good. And Alan Rickman, holy crap, like he is Snape, like just the way he was able to embody all these roles. I mean, think about Hans Gruber, think about the Sheriff of Nottingham, think about like just everything he did. He always came through in everything he did, like even in bad movies.
Yeah,
like I watched some dumb movies, but he was always great in. And then like Galaxy Quest.
Yeah.
Like
got a good part in Love Actually.
Yeah.
Really like him in that.
He's so great in everything. It's awesome.
Where do you have the Harry Potter movies like on DVD? Or do you worry?
I get them on the Google thing because I got all that credit.
Oh, okay.
I don't have them. I was gonna buy that really expensive DVD set. I never did, and now I'm probably glad that because I probably would have watched it once.
Right. Then it would sit there.
Yeah. But they're great movies, and I'm excited to keep getting through those, especially after we're reading all the books. Because, I'm done with all those.
I know, I'm just about starting. I went to the library on Tuesday.
Yeah, but now I told you got to read this other book.
I know. But they didn't have it in the first one in stock, so I ordered it. And I'm like on the waiting list, so I figured I'll read that other one first.
I think they're on Overdrive. Are you on Overdrive?
Yeah, I am, but I like to read the physical books if I have the option. Gosh, if it doesn't come soon, like
I'm sure it'll come soon.
I think it's supposed to come like on Tuesday or something. So
I can't believe our library because like there's just so many copies out there. I mean, it's like the biggest.
I know. Well,
but I guess because people are always reading them.
I could also just go to the used bookstore because they probably have 50 copies of it there.
And you have enough store credit.
Yeah, so I could do that. Or
whatever.
I'll probably start reading it on Overdrive until I get a physical copy.
Well, but, whatever. They're great, and Alan Rickman was great, and we missed, and I'm sad. And everybody should watch Die Hard because, as a bunch of people talked about this week, like that changed the action movie villain like forever. Because he did just like when he does the American accent and he's Clay and he's like, it's like what the like this. like what he's doing is just so amazing. And then like somebody pointed out, I forgot who wrote this. Somebody pointed out he's like Hans Gruber thinks he's Danny Ocean, and he's like the coolest like bad guy.
Right.
Like he's pulling a heist. I mean, he's killing all kinds of people and everything, but still, like he does it in like this slick, like unique, cool way, and he's so good, and he's great. Alan Rickman, awesome. So I was talked about. I've been going to Lucha Underground tapings, and I went today, and so I don't want to spoil the reason why, but. So at the first part of the season for the tapings that I went to for a while, because last season, the whole season, they'd have different bands playing live.
Okay.
And they didn't have that in the first part of the season. And now they're back.
Huh.
And it was always like various like I don't want to say mariachi bands. Like there were some punk bands and some different bands, but they were like kind of a hybrid, like ranchero punk, or like this kind of this very like lucha. They expect like lucha libre. But today, like I did find out it was okay to mention this because they talked about it on Twitter.
Okay.
The Voodoo Glow Skulls were there.
Really?
The freaking punk band from like that I saw a bunch of times in the 90s.
Funny.
If you ever went to a punk show, like there was that whole like ska punk, like Rocket from the Crypt, and like and at first I'm like, oh well, it's not gonna be all of, and like it's them. Like because like it's them. They're way older. They still have the guy with the mask on. They have their freaking horn section, and they shredded. But it was a little depressing because I think like 4/5 of the people in that crowd did not know who they are. But you could tell because I went on the executive producer's tweet, like he went out of his way to book that band because he's like, I can't believe one of my favorite bands is on my show. This is amazing. And then Vampiro made a big deal. He's like, I can't believe Voodoo Glow Skulls. He came out on the mic and like it was awesome. And they were loud. They were so loud. It was freaking, you could tell they were into it. And it was just fun. I haven't seen them. I told Jesse the last time I saw them was like Warped Tour in like 1998. And like, it was great. It was really cool. They were awesome. So it was fun. I saw Voodoo freaking Glow Skulls today. And that was awesome.
Who knows who's next?
I know. Dude, I hope they get some more punk bands. That'd be really cool. Like, what if they get like the Misfits or somebody? That'd be nuts. But yeah, I don't know. But it was great. And because it was funny because we saw their merch booth, and I'm like, wait, are the Voodoo Glow Skulls here? I'm like, nah, there's no way. And then I heard them warming up. I'm like, no, I'm pretty sure that's them. And then we came in there, and yeah, it's them because they got their Voodoo Glow Skulls. Like they all wear the same like attire,
right.
And like I remember what their lead singer looks like, and I was like, oh my god, like it was awesome. That and just the wrestling was amazing. Rey Mysterio, I got to see Rey Mysterio a bunch of times now, and he still looks good. And that's pretty much all I can say.
All right, yeah,
don't get no spoilers, but Rey Mysterio, they have advertised Rey Mysterio now, so he's there. It's a lot of fun. I almost got hit with a chair last week. Things have been getting really crazy. This week there were a bunch of Marines in the front row, so they gave the Marines a VIP treatment, which I thought was really cool. And we were in the second row, but it was really fun, and I'm pretty much like permanently on the floor now, which is pretty great. I'm in a pretty good spot.
That's sweet.
And
so you're going again tomorrow.
Going again tomorrow, and then not next week because next weekend is the Royal Rumble, WWE's Royal Rumble, which could be a very big deal. And then the next weekend, the 30th, 31st, is the Ultima Lucha, and I'm going to that.
Nice.
And I'm super excited. And then I don't know. They're doing live shows. They haven't announced them yet, but there's been plenty of rumors on the internet, and it seems like pretty much a given because I guess they figured out that like a bunch of the Lucha Underground wrestlers, WrestleMania week, there's a couple days during that week where they can't take bookings. So and then Lucha Underground basically confirmed they're doing their first live shows in Dallas WrestleMania weekend. I don't know how I'm gonna do it. But if they're after Royal Rumble, I have a better idea of like what the card's gonna be like, and then I'll probably make my final decision if I'm gonna sell my ticket
Right.
or if I'm gonna find a way to get to Dallas. Because the problem right now is all the ancillary shows like pretty much are all sold out. So like,
You'd be just going.
yeah, but I mean, I could probably get some tickets. Evolve isn't sold out, and then I could probably, if I wanted to, get a ticket to NXT or something else on like a StubHub or something, because that's what Benson and I did last year for Raw, and it wasn't that bad. But again, like money's really tight.
Yeah.
I could make it work if I really wanted to, but I could also sell my ticket for a lot of money, and I don't know, but I really want to because it's at AT&T Stadium. I've never been there. There's gonna be over 100,000 people there.
That's pretty crazy.
And The Rock's gonna be there. Like he's confirmed now. They're like 90% sure that he's gonna wrestle, and I haven't seen The Rock wrestle in like 20 years.
Wow.
So, like live. So I kind of would like to do that.
You want to smell it?
And it's also probably going to be Undertaker's last match, and I would like to be there for that. And depending on things that happen in the next couple months, it could also be a lot of cooler stuff happening. But so that's where I'm at with that. Lucha Underground's been awesome. Book Corner.
Book Corner.
Oh, so this happened last time where, as Steven Smith pointed out, the film studio doesn't want Rock to wrestle for insurance purposes, but he got around it for WrestleMania 29, and I don't know. We'll see. He didn't get around it for WrestleMania 30.
They just make
No, 31.
Again, like
he wasn't at WrestleMania 30. He was at WrestleMania 30. They wouldn't let him wrestle then, and they wouldn't let him wrestle last year. But he did get around it once.
Could happen. Depends on what he's got on the docket.
Yeah.
All right.
Also, I think it also depends on, because like I think Vince McMahon ended up throwing a bunch of money.
Well, yeah.
And because he's got to do something. Because this again, like I think they're relatively close to selling out, but I think they probably still got at least another several thousand tickets left to sell. And I know he wants to break that attendance record, and this would be like an overall like period attendance record, like. Because I mean, we're talking again, like they want to, like it's over 110,000. Like
that's crazy.
Nuts. All right, well, Book Corner. I've been reading a lot of books.
Yeah.
I found this funny. It was a Judd Apatow collection of humor. It's great. You can get that on Amazon. Also, 826LA website, and it goes to charity. For yeah. And then I read this book. It was one of a Humble Bundle book. I've been going through all these books. It's called The Executionists, and it was it's like a novella. Okay. It takes place in like this world where magic magic causes this like the world to be overrun with this magical bramble that like takes over, so they have to stop using magic, and people that do end up like still try to illegally do magic get executed, and it's about this woman that becomes an executionist, hence the title. But then she starts this army uprising thing. Like it's a really good fantasy story. And then the big book that I read recently was it was a book that I gotten on a Kindle giveaway like a year ago, and it's called Off My Rocker. It's by this guy Kenny Weisberg, who I discovered after we're starting reading the book. He was a DJ in Colorado, like during the freeform radio period, like those DJs, the Marin, like he was one of those guys. But then he's more well known. He ran Humphrey's Concerts by the Bay in San Diego for 20 years. He also had a radio show in San Diego that was really awesome, and just his stories about like putting like his concert war stories are just nuts. And then like the stories from his radio show, like he had like Bill Murray like came over and like took over his whole show for an episode, and then like just all his other stories. He loves music. He had a band for a while, and like again all this stuff. And it also made me feel like I'm like, man, if we were born like 20 years earlier, like because we missed the boat on like being DJs.
Yeah.
And like concert promotion now is such a different thing, and like
We were at the tail end of that.
yeah, like so we kind of, and I'm like, man, like, oh my god. And he also went to Woodstock, and his Woodstock story is crazy, and it's just a really good book. Like, if it's the music memoir that I've been hoping for since I read the Love Goes to Buildings on Fire book. And so and then I read the book, and in the back of the book is like, you can find Kenny at his website. So I went on the website, and first he's got this blog with like a bunch of his like DJ playlists and all this other cool stuff, and like a lot of cool pictures, and regular Woodstock, Mario.
Mario's in the chat. What's up, Mario?
I think he's talking about the infamous Woodstock '99, which
yeah.
I almost went to, and then scalped my tickets to that. I probably would have died there. Like,
Yeah,
just
it was
hearing
crazy.
all those stories, like, I would have died. But so anyways, so I went to his website, and then I also saw that there was a contact page. So I sent him an email, and I asked him if he would be on the podcast. So not only did he say he would be on the podcast, but he sent me an autographed copy of his book, which you can buy an autographed copy of your own if you go to KennyWeisberg.com, KennyWeissberg.com, and it's like $13 shipping included for an autographed copy. And it's a great book. You can also get it on the Kindle store. Everything. It's if you love music, it's a must read.
I'll be reading it so that we can.
Kenny is going to be on the show at some point soon, and I'm very excited to talk to him about concert promotion and all his, and then just because he, at the end of his book, he rails on Ticketmaster and Live Nation, all the stuff that you and I are always complaining about, and like how like that's kind of ruined, and also Clear Channel ruining radio, and just all the things that we tend to complain about on a pretty regular basis. And he's
on our same page.
Yes, and he's just very much, he's one of us, and I don't know, I haven't connected with a book like that too often, and so I just really loved it. Cool. And you should check it out. And yeah. And then I also read, so last year I had talked about Voices of Wrestling's New Japan Wrestling Year in Review, which was awesome. They made it even better for 2015, and it's better organized. There's some really good essays. If you are interested in New Japan Wrestling at all, it's a really good overview, intro, way to catch up. And you can if you go to voicesofwrestling.com, you can order it on their website. It's pay what you want. I paid like a few bucks. You can pay $0, you can pay whatever, and it's a really great book, really well done. It has write-ups for every single New Japan show, biographies of every wrestler, and then some cool essays, and it's a lot of fun. Finally, one of my old professors, he posted about this on Facebook, so I got it. It was free for a day on Amazon. I would not recommend going to buy it, pay money for it, because it ended up kind of making me angry. It's called You Write, They Pay, and it's about freelance writing, and it basically made it seem like she was going to tell you exactly how to get in, and she kind of does, but it's all vague. It's like, oh, go to like job boards, do this, and get with an agency. She doesn't tell you how to get with an agency, and then it turns out the whole thing, and she even mentions business funnels in her book, and it turns out this book is the tip of a funnel, because she's like, if you want specific details, go to my website and sign up for my online courses, which cost money. But it did kind of introduce me to this world of freelance writing, for like copywriting for websites, for like press releases and all that stuff. There is a huge market out there, but I'm no better. I still don't quite know what. I mean, she gives some URLs for like boards, and she's like, you don't really want to do that. You want to get with an agency. She doesn't talk any. I don't know. There's no names of agencies or how you submit your work to them. So
that really helpful.
It's not super helpful. It's only 95 pages. So, but whatever. I don't know. Kind of whatever. So I finished that, and then I'm like a third of the way done with J. Michael Straczynski's complete book of screenwriting, which you got me.
Yeah.
Um,
Doesn't get a chance yet.
it's really good. It was published in 1996.
Oh, okay.
So some of it is like some of it's dated, where I'm not sure, like some of his advice, I don't know if it's relevant, because he talks about like nobody is taking TV pilots, and I think the opposite has happened now, where he's like, you need to do a spec script of like this TV show, and I've heard, but now I think things are changing. Also in today's do-it-yourself world, like all rules are gone now. Where the thing that I've heard consistently, and you can back me up on this, is you need to actually make something,
Right.
and so I think that had changed. But then some of his other practical advice is very useful, and he does go a lot. And I think at the time, because this is kind of pre some of the software,
Right.
so a lot of it is about formatting your script correctly. And now like the programs do it for you.
Like,
And like final draft, whatever, like it does it for you. So I don't have to think about that. So I'm like, man, writing scripts back then seemed to be a pain in the freaking butt.
Yeah.
Like all the correct formatting and stuff. Because I mean, didn't you take like a screenwriting class?
Yeah, I mean, it's pre all that.
So having to do because he talks about like picas and like this and that and like all that. And I'm like, this sounds like I wouldn't be able to. I'd give up. Like, it's like this sounds like a giant pain in the butt.
Writing like short.
Yeah.
5-10 pages at most, like, so yeah.
But then but it is really cool to some of the practical advice. He does have a whole chapter where he basically predicts where the industry is going, and at first I'm like, oh, this should be a riot, but I knew J. Michael, because he wrote for Babylon 5. He's like a really smart guy.
Right.
He basically he predicts. Oh yeah, I have read. So Steve brings up the Thomas Lennon book about script writing, but I mean it is because it's about coming up with formulas.
Right.
I would look. I am kind of interested in that, but I'm more interested because he talks about the broader like getting an agent and like how to get somebody to read your script.
Right.
And then that's why I got this book specifically, because he doesn't talk about formulas. He's like, I'm gonna let you figure that out yourself. Like, either you're a writer or you're not, but this is the more practical stuff.
Right.
It's just 20 years old. But again, there is. So anyways, he basically predicts like the rise of the internet for television and distribution. He's like, at some point, like the networks are gonna be like, they're either gonna have to adapt to this model, and like things are gonna change. He basically predicted the writer's strike, because he's like, as royalty things are antiquated contracts, there's gonna be issues. He predicted like CG basically revolutionizing the industry and causing like the rise of the independent studios again. Like, it's crazy. And this was like just some of the stuff he like had predicted. It was like pretty nuts. It was pretty spot on. He like, some of his nomenclature is a little off, but I'm like, no, this is what he's predicting. Right. And it's very spot on. It's like reading David, because like people have been publishing, because David Bowie was one of those pioneers as far as embracing the internet and like MP3s and copyright, and so a lot of people have been publishing like, look at this, because it was like back in like the late 90s, and he was predicting like the downfall of like copyright and like the rise of piracy, and how artists are going to handle that is going to basically decide whether they're going to sink or swim, and like everything he said. Because I remember even back then I would read him writing about this, and that's how I kind of jumped on. I was like, well, Bowie's into this. Like, it was like him and like David Byrne and like a few of those other guys were like really embracing it, while the whole rest, I mean, then you had on the other side, you had like Metallica and everybody like trying to shut all this down, whereas these guys, and they're still miles ahead, like. And like so it's cool reading some of that stuff when people. The other funny thing, and this is where I still can't decide also, is like he talks about like writing, like sending letters of inquiry and all this stuff, and I'm like, I don't think people send letters.
Yeah.
Like, even in Hollywood, like, I don't think letters. But he does say, like, because it does make sense, and I have heard about this, where if you're doing unsolicited, like, cannot send, if you send in a script, you're automatically going to be put on like this black. They as soon as they open it, they're liable for things. They can't even open.
Right.
So you have to go through this whole process. If you're doing it this way without an agent, you basically have to first inquire to have permission to send. Then you get a release form, and then you send your script. But now I'm like, doesn't this all happen electronically now?
I would
like,
guess it probably does.
Because like people aren't printing out and like, is that still happening? But then I'm like, how does that work now? Because basically you have to sign this thing, and then like back in the day you would put, because I remember my friends doing this, you would get once you got permission to send them your script, like to like the executive producer or the story editor or whoever, and so you would get the release form, you'd put it in, so you'd get an envelope with your script in it, in the outer envelope you put the release form, and then you put another envelope with your script in it, and then on the front of it, so they wouldn't also immediately check it, you had to write release form enclosed, because the release form is releasing them from liability, so you can't sue them down the road. And I know that is still a thing, I just think there's a different process, because I don't think mail and letters are a thing.
Because are people even printing up physical manuscripts?
I don't know. I hope not, because that's expensive.
And it's also a waste of paper.
Yeah. I feel like this is all done electronically these days.
I bet it is.
Although,
who knows? Like, there may be some directors.
I think there's still like a process, but that's so. It's a cool book.
It's cool.
I'm just curious. I'm sure maybe now I haven't been to his website, but I think he probably has updated information and stuff. But he hasn't, because at first I wanted to see if he actually wrote another edition of the book, and he hasn't. So this is the newest edition of the book. But anyways, I started. You'll be pleased to know I started A Long Way Down.
It's amazing.
It was one of the I bought it at the Long Beach store 2 years ago. So I just started it, but it's really good so far. And then I also started another bundled book. I had heard of Jack Vance. He's like a legendary science fiction fantasy writer.
Okay.
And one of the books that I had gotten in a humble bundle was the Jack Vance Treasury. And so I started it, and so far I'm in. Like, this short story I'm reading, it's like really cool because it's like, it's on another planet, but the way he wrote Other Planets, like, it's truly like alien planets, and like it's really good and like really unique, and I'm really digging it. So that's what else I'm currently reading. What about you?
Well, I finished all the Henry books since the last time we talked.
So
Ribsy is like, it's like his whole journey, like mostly from his perspective.
At what point were you finally realize, like, because for a while I'm like, oh my God, they're gonna kill Ribsy. Like, for a while I was freaked out.
Well, I didn't, because you told me.
Yeah. Well, I didn't want people to think that, because it's like I'm like, if he's gonna die, I don't want to read this, because there's nothing. I despise dog books and dog movies because they always die. I don't want it. I don't want it. I don't want that in my life.
No, when he finally, spoiler alert if you haven't read this 50-year-old book.
He runs away.
He runs away and then goes through all his adventures. Each chapter is like another, person that takes him in for a while. But when he finally meets up with Henry Huggins again at the end, it's very emotional. Like,
and how is that not a movie?
Yeah, seriously.
How is the whole Ribsy series, like
know.
Henry and Ribsy? I think it'd be a great boy, kid movie, boy and his dog movie that's not depressing, because all the other ones are depressing.
Yeah, it's great.
My dog Skip can.
But all of them, I mean, the Clubhouse one was great. I loved seeing his relationship with Beezus and wrestling with whether they're friends and
then Ramona. Her maturation.
Oh my gosh, and she has some great scenes. The whole thing with following him around when he's a paper boy and stuff.
And she has her own.
Oh no, when he gets what's the guy on the TV show that she watches?
Oh yeah.
He writes a letter and then the guy talks to her in the TV.
Yeah.
It was the great
Ramona Quimby.
Ramona Geraldine Quimby, I'm talking to you. Oh my gosh, it's fantastic.
But I loved that she loved Henry so much that the only thing she wanted for Christmas was a paper delivery bag.
Oh, totally. So, Okay, I think that was it.
Yeah.
You should talk about movies for a second, and I gotta get
All right.
another thing real quick. Oh, I talked about that already.
Talked about the music. New movies, no new movies. You already talked about all these movies, right?
About those, yeah.
Bridge of Spies was good.
Oh, that was fantastic.
He says Bridge of Spies was fantastic. Um, so he did watched all those on the boat.
Yeah.
All right, DVD on demand corner. I've been watching WWE Network. I watched the end of Homeward Bound does have a happy ending, but I just Animals in Peril. I have a hard time with it.
Agreed. Bridge of Spies was directed by Steven Spielberg and written by the Coen brothers, and that's a great pedigree. And Tom Hanks stars in it. It's fantastic.
So I've been watching on WWE Network. I watched the end of the season finale of Breaking Ground, which is like it's like a documentary series about NXT and like watching. I think even people that aren't into wrestling would enjoy it because it follows these prospects and like the whole journey, and like you see it, and they managed to like make me like wrestlers that I didn't like before, and I have a lot more respect for them now. There's a couple wrestlers that I was just not a fan of, and now I'm like, whoa, like they are the hardest working people on the roster. And then just seeing that journey and the heartbreak. It was Dana Brooke and Baron Corbin. I have a lot more respect for now because they're seriously like the hardest working people. Like if you watch that show, like Dana Brooke like works her freaking butt off, and then she was eager. Like I had heard like nobody because like they brought in this girl from Japan who's like the #1 women's wrestler in Japan, Asuka, and she's like scary. Like she's like strike based offense. She kicks really hard, and in Japan they work like a much stiffer style. So like people were scared to get in the ring with Asuka, and sure enough, like but like Dana Brooks, like this is it. I want to prove myself, and so she got in her, and she immediately got hurt. Like she hit her with this like hip attack, like right to her chest and like her shoulder, and like but like Dana Brooke is like just right back, and she trains constantly. Like when she's not in the performance center, she's like running around, like she's just constantly training. And I just was not that into her at first, and now like just seeing that, and then Baron Corbin just seems like a giant dick, but that's part of because I mean he was in the NFL, he was an NFL football player, and now this is like and after the NFL he lost like 100 pounds to become a wrestler, and like he works really hard, and he's a really good bad guy now. Like I think he's really developed his character, and then seeing the trainers and like seeing because Adam Pearce is like an indie legend. He never actually got to work in the WWE, but like I've watched him on the indies, and now he's one of the main coaches. Just seeing the effect he's had on the roster there is really cool. And then also Steven Regal, William Regal brought in one of his friends from England, Robbie Brookside, who kind of turned his life around in order to join the WWE as a coach. And just it's really inspirational to see these guys and the effect that they're having on the young wrestlers. And also it just makes me WWE is a very solid future because they're investing so much now. But because this did not exist like 5 years ago, and it's really cool. And just seeing all the hard work that they put into it is really cool. And then also watching NXT and other stuff. I'm gonna start doing recaps of old, like 1995, 94 Raws. Because I've been watching them in order, so I'll start typing those up.
Yeah.
And I think that'll be fun. And oh yeah, Steve's talking about Billy Robinson. I've been watching some of his matches on New Japan World, and he would have been a really good trainer. Some of these British guys, because they're like grapplers and like they are freaking tough dudes. Yeah. So and then Beverly Hills 90210. You can read my recaps, BrendoMan.com. And then I've been on after I watched The Hateful Eight, I wanted to watch in order like all the Quentin Tarantino movies just because it was so good. I know a lot of people, Jerry didn't like it. You guys are nuts. Whatever.
Jeff Edwards wants to see
Yeah, I don't. That's fine. I loved it. I don't. Whatever. So I really got. So I'd already watched on Netflix because most of them are on Netflix. So I'd already watched last week. I had watched Pulp Fiction and Reservoir Dogs, and so this week I watched Jackie Brown. I had a Blu-ray, and then Grindhouse. Because at first I was gonna watch the Death Proof extended cut, but then I hadn't watched Grindhouse in a long time, and I know they kind of tie together. So, and I wanted that whole experience, and I hadn't seen it like with the like trailers, and the trailers are awesome, and like Grindhouse is awesome. I know people tend to like a lot of people like Death Proof's at the bottom of their Quentin Tarantino list. Like I really love it, and Kurt Russell is so awesome, and it made me even more excited for like. I really hope it's true that he's gonna be the main star in like in the next Fast and Furious movie. Because did you watch it? Like he was like the best part. So I hope because he was so awesome and Hateful Eight. Like I love that Kurt Russell is like better than ever, and he's so grizzled and awesome. And then like he's so great in Death Proof. Like he's so good. And like, I love Kurt Russell.
Yeah.
Like, I love Kurt Russell. Yeah. Well, you hear. So Derek's been going to like the new Beverly Hateful Eight, but so while they're doing all the Quentin Tarantino movies on their kiddie matinees, they've been showing all the Computer Wore Tennis Shows movies.
Oh, really?
And Derek had never seen those before, and he's hooked now.
Oh yeah. There's a whole. What was his name? I forget the character's name.
Yeah, there's a whole series
of
them, and they're showing one each week.
Do you remember the Merlin Jones ones too from back then?
Yeah.
There was like where he like could read their minds and stuff.
Captain Ron's great.
Overboard.
Yes.
Love for Goldie Hawn.
But yeah, so anyways, I watched Grindhouse. It's friggin' awesome. And then Goldberg's
new episode.
Beastie Boys. I haven't watched the new one.
I haven't watched the new one.
But the Beastie Boys one was awesome.
The Tasty Boys.
Yeah, it was so funny.
Yeah.
I really liked. He did Bedtime for Bonzo.
Did he really?
Kurt Russell.
I did not know that.
Was in that.
Yes. I know he was like a kid actor because he was in Swiss Family Robinson.
He was?
Right?
No,
I'm mixing him up.
No,
that was the guy that was.
Yeah.
Which one? No,
the Old Yeller guy.
Yeah, that was the Old Yeller guy. No, but he was in it. He was a kid one though.
He was in some Disney ones as a kid, but not.
But you're right. That was the Old Yeller kid.
Yeah.
Well, anyway.
Both of the Old Yeller kids.
Yeah.
Ah.
Right.
He was on Gilligan's Island.
Right.
Oh yeah, one of the main guys. The other big death that like kind of went under the radar was one of the main original Harlem Globetrotters died.
Oh, really?
One of the ones that was on because most of our is Scooby Doo and Gilligan's Island.
Yep.
Those Scooby Doo episodes were pretty great.
Oh yeah.
The one with the pirate ghosts, and they're all
yeah. Well,
so goofy.
And then the
Meadowlark was the one that died. It was really sad.
And the Gilligan's Island one where they all managed to get there and then leave again.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, yeah. That's funny stuff. But the Goldberg's one, the Tasty Boys, the rap thing that he does, it kind of made me think of like our in credit raps.
Yeah.
Like the stuff like, my name's Big Tasty. My rhymes are. What does he say? Oh, what is it?
I don't remember now, but he just kept doing the same thing.
He had like the one rap that he would do over and over again. Anyway, it's super.
And Erica saved him again.
Yep.
And then Murray in the kitchen and that whole thing. David Koechner is so good.
He's like,
I'm
I don't
glad.
know what to do.
He's like the new Coke thing, and he had like stashed old Coke. Yeah. And then when they actually try, because he's like, finally, they're going to try new Coke, because he finally gives him a try, he's like, it's horrible!
Yeah. Or even when he's sitting on the floor in, like, new pants.
Oh, yeah, because
I'm a floor person now.
Because he wears, like, the really
I can't stand up. I'm a floor person.
Oh, Jeff Garland's so funny. He's doing, gosh, I wish I had money and lived closer, because he's doing a Largo show that sounds amazing.
Oh, really?
I want to go to Largo again, like really bad. It was so cool.
It was a lot of fun.
And I want to meet Jeff Garland because he's amazing.
I saw him at Disneyland once.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw him somewhere. I don't remember where. Anyways, I finally watched Heistin.
Yes.
Because your brother and I
Matthew
talked
and
about
were
it.
telling you to watch that.
It's amazing. It's so
love it.
good. Shaq and Flea and Andy Samberg and Marilyn Raskob and oh my gosh and
Not Andy Samberg.
no,
Chris Parnell.
Parnell.
Yeah, yeah.
One of them.
The other
one.
Of the, yeah.
But holy crap, it's so weird. It's so funny. Curtis Armstrong
Oh my god.
is
Still my
amazing.
favorite.
It's so funny. If you haven't watched it, it's one of the pilots that they do, and like it's on Amazon Prime. It's so good. I feel like maybe it doesn't sound like I haven't heard it. There's nothing. And
so good though. He said I always wanted to write a novel, but
it's
I never
got
had enough paper.
like every review is like, please Amazon pick up this show.
Because the potential, like thinking about what guests they can
yeah,
have.
because he can basically the premise is the kid Heistin. Well, he's like 19.
Yeah.
And he has some kind of mental thing where he instead of an imaginary friend, it's an imaginary celebrity.
So in this one, the celebrities are Flea and Shaq.
Yeah, and it's them playing
themselves, but like a weird.
It's like in his imaginary version because like Flea's like giving all these crazy like speeches,
right.
And like Shaq keeps like beatboxing and he's playing like.
Flea's like teaching him how to play drums.
Yeah.
And Shaq's doing this like weird.
Shaq's like teaching him how to dance, and then they go to this group therapy session. And oh my gosh, it's so good. And he tries to get a job as a collections agent. Because he's like, oh yeah, me and my friends used to play collections agency. It's so funny.
It's really
good. It's really good. If you have Amazon Prime, you need to watch it. It's amazing. And I hope somehow, some miracle. And then I watched Harry Potter and Chamber of Secrets. Really great. Better than I remembered because I don't know. At some point I had written off the Christopher Columbus movie, but like it captures the books really well. They have to abridge certain things in the movies, of course, but it captures the spirit of it, and the cast is great. Chamber of Secrets has Kenneth Branagh in it, and he's awesome. Everyone they bring on like a new big when they have a new character, it's always like some big. Like I'm watching, Azkaban, got Gary Oldman comes in. And Emma Thompson.
Wow.
They like every movie is new big names. It's really great. So Chamber of Secrets was really cool. And then it also reminded me of the awesome MTV Movie Awards sketch with Gollum, where they bring up Dobby and he just starts cussing out. He's like Dobby, and they got Andy Serkis. He's just like it's like F Dobby, like kiss my butt. And that was really funny. All those Lord of the Rings stuff they did at the whole One Ring thing, and it's like Jack Black and Prince Albert. You ever see that?
No, I don't know if I did.
Oh, it was really funny.
Speaking of Lord of the Rings, though, we started playing Lego Dimensions.
Yeah.
And first of all, it's fantastic. I'm super stoked on it. But there's a whole thing, like Gandalf is one of the main characters at the beginning, and so it's the scene. What happens is this bad guy's like calling all the different people from different dimensions into the same one through this portal, and so Gandalf is like doing that with the Balrog, "You shall not pass," and then he falls down. Except then like Batman falls out and he's like fighting the thing with Batman and stuff, and he winds up going in the portal with them, and they all go anyway. But it's just this great little bit because that's like what happened when he fell down there. He went in this other portal.
Mm-hmm.
All
right. What about you? What do you got?
We're talking about Goldbergs. Okay, so also on the boat, and they do this a lot on cruise ships. They have movies playing in the room for free. So we watched The Walk, which is Joseph.
So had you seen Man on Wire?
I had not, but I had read a book.
Because Man on Wire is amazing.
That's the documentary.
Yeah.
Janelle watched it, and Janelle actually shows a short to her kids at school, and they study. They do a little thing on it and stuff. So I was familiar with it before, and I've not seen Man on Wire.
What'd you think of?
But it was really, really good. It was very kind of quirky, like it was artistically done. But
You should watch Man on Wire.
This is on a small screen in the hotel or in the cruise, right? Because it's a small TV in there. And this was like a day at sea, so the boat's rocking.
Oh, and then I've heard like it just gets really.
Even on a small screen, I do not get motion sick, but I'm like clinging to the bed because there's all these shots.
I heard like people threw up and stuff.
And then like I can't imagine on a big screen in 3D. I could see people super freaking out because this is a little screen and we're like, oh, because it's all like these shots straight down the toe and he just bounces along. He's jumping back and forth and it's crazy.
The documentary is great though because he actually did that stuff.
Yeah, it's definitely, if that's interesting to you, it's definitely worth watching. Joseph Gordon-Levitt was great. On the airplane on the way back, I forgot to tell about this.
Yeah, your business.
Yeah, like we had 3 flights because we had 2 connections on the way back from Puerto Rico, and on the second flight we get on the plane and we're in this like upgraded. I guess it's not first class technically, but it was like upgraded business class. It was like a first class chair. It was this crazy one on American Airlines where you have like 50 buttons that control your chair, like every single part of it. You can fully lay out into a bed.
Dang.
Like fully bed, the like footrest go up and the armrest go all different ways. You have your own private TV screen with all these movies streaming for free, like start and stop, tons, like 50 different movies, TV shows, video games. I played Tetris for a while. You have like 2 different trays, all these things like come out of things and transform. It was fantastic, and you have like there's no one behind you. You're in your own like little cubicle thing, so you can lay back. It doesn't bug anyone. Like. It was awesome. We just played around with that thing the whole time. But anyway, so one of the things I did on there is I watched a movie, and I figured this is a good opportunity because it was free, and I was kind of like a little distracted, like helping Luke do stuff. So I watched Fantastic.
Fantastic, yeah.
Yeah. Fantastic Four movie. And I enjoyed it more than I thought I would. Like, I think I saw some real potential there. I get why people hated it. It was definitely. Did you watch it? I can't remember.
I tried. I got to a certain point and I tapped out.
Because they don't get their superpowers. Yeah. It's like a 2.5-hour movie. They don't get their superpowers until like an hour and a half.
First, I got angry that like sued and because I'm like, what the?
Yeah,
what?
They leave her out and she's like the cop.
Doesn't even make sense. And then also like they don't fight anything for like
very, very.
And I was like, this is. I just was like.
They never call themselves the Fantastic Four. They never use Mr. Fantastic or. Human Torch or the Thing, whatever. Like, they never call themselves the actual names. So there's a lot of things that are irritating. Part of it, too, is just, it's very, like, somber the whole time. It's not a lot of fun. However, you know how, like, the director kind of came out and was like, oh, they messed with my movie and stuff, blah, blah, blah. And this is not the movie I saw. I see a lot of potential. It looked cool. There were some cool things in there. I feel like with some editing... pruning that first hour and a half down to a lot less so that you're like actually getting the superhero parts. I think there's a decent movie buried in there. Still not fantastic, definitely, but it was worth watching and I enjoyed parts of it. But man, that's a long time to wait for the Fantastic Four to actually be on the screen.
Yep.
So yeah. Well, we Redbox Mission Impossible Rogue Nation.
That was good. I haven't watched it.
Really good.
It was really good.
If you like the other ones, it's kind of it'll definitely fill that void. Very well done. Lots of cool stunts and everything. Good new like lead girl and stuff.
Yeah, that's what I heard. The lead
She's really cool. And finally, on this section, we watched some more Gordimer Gibbons' Life on Normal Street, which you still have to watch.
I gotta watch everything. There's too many shows, man.
But this one is great. I'm telling you, you'd love it.
Okay.
All right, that's it for me on DVD.
Well, you gotta watch Erie, Indiana, because it sounds like Erie, Indiana.
Yes.
All right, Marin season 3. I had started watching it last time, and holy crap, this season was nuts. I finished it. I watched it all in like 2 days, and there was awesome. The second to last episode had CM Punk and Colt Cabana,
really,
and like CM Punk like becomes his personal trainer, and like it's hilarious and also like just really it's real dark, and it's really good and intense and holy crap, it's awesome. There's just a lot of good moments, and it's really funny, and it just had a really weird effect on me. And I actually posted that I'm like, this is great. I'm glad that Marin's back on Netflix, and the season's had a weird effect on me. And Marin liked my tweet. It was my first.
Nice.
Marin liked a tweet. My first one.
That's cool.
I tweeted him a lot. So I guess I'm like, that's what it takes to get a Marin like. Talk nice about a show.
That's all it takes.
It felt good still. And then I watched Kill Bill Volume 1 and Volume 2 and Inglourious Bastards and Django, and they're all freaking awesome, and I love them. And, dude, I know you don't like the super violent stuff, but as a Samuel L. Jackson fan, you have to watch Hateful Eight because it's one of the best things Samuel L. Jackson has ever done. And
I'm not saying I won't watch it.
He is so amazing in Hateful Eight. He's amazing in all, because Django, it was kind of Samuel L. Jackson, because he hadn't had major roles in Quentin movies. He'd been in Kill Bill, and he was a narrator in Inglourious Basterds, but seeing him back in Django, back in Fine, Samuel L. form, and then they just took that to the next level, because he's one of the main characters in Hateful Eight,
right.
And it's freaking awesome. I loved him in Hateful Eight, and now I want to be like you and watch everything Samuel Jackson's ever done because he's so good in it. And Pulp Fiction, watching Pulp Fiction again, and Jackie Brown, and also have you seen Jackie Brown?
I've never seen Jackie Brown.
Jackie Brown, you should definitely watch Jackie Brown.
Right.
It's the least violent Quentin Tarantino movie. It might be one of the most underrated movies ever, period. You've got De Niro, you got Samuel L. Jackson, you got Pam Grier, you got Michael Keaton. It's freaking amazing. It's this great, it's so good, and the music is amazing. It might be the most underrated movie of all time, period. Amazing. And again, Samuel L. freaking Jackson is so good.
Yes.
And, yeah. And, but freaking, yeah, loved it. Loved watching those movies again. His movies.
That's all 8, right?
Yeah, that's everything. And, it made me start going through his soundtrack, because his soundtracks, he's right there with soundtracks and just the themes and the music that he uses and the way he mixes old music and new music. Even in Django, there's it's Enrico Morricone, and then it goes into rap music and all this stuff, and Jamie Foxx is so good in that, and freaking Christoph Waltz, and Django is great, and I loved watching all those movies again. I don't know, really loved it. So you watched a show I want to watch. It's on the top of my list.
It's on Netflix. It's called Detectorists.
Yeah, awesome title.
Super great. Well, and it's funny because it follows these guys. It's Mackenzie
Crook.
Crook, yes.
Who's Gareth from The Office, and he's in Pirates of the Caribbean.
Caribbean guy. And then Toby Jones.
Yeah.
And they are
Toby Jones is awesome.
Metal detector hobbyists. They take metal detectors out in England and look for old gold and ruins and whatever. And it's funny because they're not metal detectors, because that's the tool they use. That's why they call themselves detectorists.
Nice.
Because they use the detectors. But it's one of those perfect BBC hilarious and totally understated, but also really emotional. You'll cry, but it's also hilarious. It's just great. It's super, super good. Great characters.
As soon as I saw it, I put it on my list. It's just there's so much
stuff. It's fantastic. So definitely recommend that one.
And since it's BBC, it's 6 episodes?
Yeah, 6 episodes. So you'll put them away in no time.
Yeah.
Really, really, really good. So, and then because you were telling me about the show and I needed to watch the show, I watched Wet Hot American Summer to prepare for that. I've seen it before, but it's been a long time.
It's great, right?
And it's really funny. It's not my favorite of the stuff that they've done. It's funny, but there's other things. But I love it. It's still good.
Mm-hmm.
There's some great performances, and it's weird. And I didn't realize
it's all those people before they were famous.
Yeah, just
before
crazy.
Any of them were famous.
And I did not realize. I told you this. I didn't realize H. John Benjamin was the voice of the Can.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know his voice that well.
Which
the last
in the show you find out why he is the Can.
So now I'll watch the show and then I can weigh in on that.
Yeah.
I'm prepared.
And Jason Schwartzman's in the show. There's even more people in the show.
Yeah. It's crazy how many people are in it. That
Well, that's why it took so long to make the show, because they had to figure out, because like all these people are
Bradley
like
Cooper,
stupid famous now.
Yeah. Amy Poehler, everybody.
So. Awesome.
Yeah.
I'm glad you watched that. And
what do we got?
Video games. Pretty much, I'm down to Clicker Heroes and Fallout 4. I'm deep into Fallout.
Yeah.
I'm like at least 50 hours in. To the point where I was talking to Jesse today, like my songs in my head, like you were talking about how you had Laverne and Shirley in your head for some reason.
For whatever reason.
But I have the Fallout, the Diamond City radio station, and it plays like all these oldies songs, and they're just in my head constantly. And I've even memorized the DJ, and then I have dreams about what I'm gonna do in Fallout like the next day.
I love video game dreams.
Like I think about Fallout all the time now, and
I've had some Pokemon.
And then I think about, I'm like, I wish I could live in a world where I could like go scavenging in old houses and like take things and then turn them into money like you can, and like I wish life. Like, I could do that, because I could be a good scavenger.
Yeah, just go around to old places.
And, like, fight radiation-affected cockroaches and other monsters, and then random dudes trying to kill me, and super mutants. But, like, the scavenging part, like, I feel like I'd be really good.
That part sounds good.
The giant scorpions are scary, and the bears. Ugh. Rad scorpions, because they come out of nowhere and they can like kill you really quick.
That's good. You enjoy it.
It's really good.
Good.
It's crazy how huge the game is, and there's like this whole crazy like settlement building system, but there's like no real manual for it, so you kind of gotta figure things out. But it's like crazy. You can like build houses and settlements and scrap all kinds of stuff and like build things, and it's freaking nuts, man. Like and then like you can get stuck on like side quests for like ever, and like never even like I took like this giant break from the main quest because it was getting really difficult, and then I just went on all these crazy adventures, and then you'll be like going across the map and like hiking along, and then you'll find some like distress signal, and that'll lead you to this like abandoned outpost. And like all this other crazy stuff is happening, and it's just so like nuts. Like the deeper and deeper, and you're peeling all these layers, and there's more stuff to find. If you're like a collector, it's like, oh, it's so great. It's so good. Like the best. I love my mom. I love that my mom like. She got me, and like at first I'm like no, Mom, I don't need anything. And she's like, no, I listened to your podcast and it sounds like you really want that video game, and so you should get that. And I was like, oh, I like that she's trying.
That's pretty good. I mean, you know.
And then Clicker Heroes, I'm just like,
you're still in your guild.
Yeah.
Nice.
But I haven't even touched my DS in a while. I've been writing.
That's good. I won't complain about that. Well, I mean, on the trip, you know, just mostly like Street Pass, Pokemon Shuffle, and Pokemon Picross.
Between those three tags on the ship.
Like there's one person, probably a kid, but like we only got him like a couple of times.
What about at airport?
Airport, we got a lot. Puerto Rico walking around, we got
quite a few. Puerto Rico?
I had Puerto Rico already, but Janelle got it. She didn't have that. So yeah, quite a few.
That's
we
cool.
got a bunch at the thing last night, the Arcade Expo, and I didn't ever clear it out while I was there. So anyway, and then we started playing Lego Dimensions when we get back. It's so much fun. You get to a spot, and then it says like follow the instructions, and it has like a little Lego booklet in the game, and you build in the real world what it tells you to do, and then put it on the thing.
Pretty awesome.
It's so cool. The kids and I have been playing through that. It's very. We haven't gotten very far.
You're gonna buying a ton of those.
Well, Janelle may or may not have gotten a pretty good deal on a bunch of them at like Black Friday, so that was a lot of what I got at Christmas.
Which ones do you have?
Well, we've only built like the main one so far. Yeah. But she got a Lord of the Rings one with Gollum, like a DC one that's Cyborg. There's Back to the Future one.
Nice.
With the Marty and the hoverboard and stuff. Gosh, I'm forgetting. There's a couple others. I think she got me like 6 sets. So
nice.
And I haven't built them all yet. I think a Wonder Woman one.
Do you have a Doctor Who one?
I don't think Doctor Who.
You gotta get a Doctor Who one.
But anyway, it's really, really fun. I like it. I'm happy to be hooked on another one.
How's your amiibo?
Oh, they're doing well. I haven't even opened all the ones that she got me at Christmas. Oh, she found. Remember the 3-pack of the?
Yeah, I told you there was a 3-pack.
I was like, "Hey, Brendan said you got that." She's like, "I did." I'm like, "Where is it?" And she looked around and she had like stashed my presents underneath our dresser, and it was like way under the dresser. And
it's like national. It's like Christmas vacation.
So yeah, it totally is. Except she found it this year. So.
That's good.
Yeah.
See, you got your KK slider.
Oh yeah, I got the whole Animal Crossing collection.
Dang.
Oh, dude, great. Great.
Have you played the game yet?
I haven't even tried it yet. We've only been home a few days, so like now, and this is what we do each year. Like we get all our presents, and then it sits there for 2 weeks while we go and do stuff. So we haven't gotten to touch any of our Christmas presents. So now it's just like a free for all.
I don't know what that's like.
Hard. It's really hard, We had to go be on vacation. We get to play with all our toys.
You get home and you have all that freaking stuff.
Oh, dude. It is. It's like a second Christmas.
That's cool. All right, it's time.
It's time.
It's time. It's time. It's Marmaduke time.
Yes.
We did do one while you were gone.
Oh, you did?
Derek
What
did
was
one.
the category?
I don't even know. It was really stupid.
All right. So this is the correct page then? Oh,
Yes.
It looks like we need a couple.
Wait, let me look.
That's what I'm wondering. How many did you guys do?
Oh, yeah, so we did that one.
You also did
Oh, we
that
did
one?
not do this one.
Okay, so we're on that one.
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess this was like Marmaduke thinks he's people, or maybe he like gave her a shoe for her birthday.
Yeah. Marmaduke thinks he's people.
And it was really, that was the punchline. Gave her a shoe.
Okay. Well, here we go. This one, Marmaduke's he's moping. He's drooping along. He's walking. Each panel, he just kind of moving through the house, drooping. That's the whole first page. Then he comes across the mom who's vacuuming. And he lays down on the floor and it says, sigh. And then what? Oh, he gets excited and looks up. And the kids are coming home on the bus. Here's old Marmaduke. Dogs are lucky. They don't have to go to school. Boy, does he have it easy. What fun things you been doing, Marmaduke? Yeah, you just play all day. Hi, Duke. Nothing but fun, fun, fun. The kids think he's having fun, but he was really bored.
So Marmaduke wishes he was people? Marmaduke's a dog?
Marmaduke's a dog in this case.
I guess that's just...
It's like a reversal on the Marmaduke's people. Because guess what? Dogs don't do anything.
They really don't.
Why is that funny? I don't.
It's not.
Like, oh, I'm sad, and then the kids come home, and I'm not sad anymore. The mom's vacuuming randomly in this one. There you go. That's Marmaduke, people. Marmaduke is a dog. That's the category.
That's a new category.
It's like a spin on the Marmaduke as people. It's pointing out the essential dogness of Marmaduke.
I really think we were onto something with the fact that like this is
it's for dog lovers.
Yeah.
It's for people
and
who are
we'll
dog
never
people.
understand.
I don't think I can get inside that brain.
We do ghost skulls like my tree.
Nice.
There you go.
Getting liked all over the place.
Getting liked. Well, I think that's gonna do it. It's 2 in.
It's time.
I gotta get up in 8 hours.
I get to sleep in a little bit finally.
Good.
Yeah.
You better. You're gonna be sick.
Oh gosh.
Coming down. I better not get sick tomorrow.
Don't touch me. Don't touch me.
Well, yeah, Benson's coming tomorrow.
That's exciting.
Excited to talk to Benson about his Dan Harmon thing. He's got a new place.
Yeah.
He's moving up in the world. Don't trust nobody. Gotta look over your shoulder constantly. Anyways,
thanks for listening,
thank
everyone.
you, everybody. RadioBrendo.com. Go there. Check out everything there. Check out BenviewNetwork.com. Phil and Janelle, JanelleandPhil.com.
MyVacationPants.com.
Radio Brendo. I already said that. BrendoMan.com, MBWSPod.com. Listen to Popsicles. And get ready for lots of cool stuff.
Yeah.
2016.
If you want to do the book club, I'm starting up on the
Harry Potter.
We'll go through them in more detail.
And also read off your rocker, off my rocker.
Yes.
Kenny Weisberg. Because we're going to have him on the show somewhere down there. Also, Story Thieves Book 2
when does that
comes out on the 19th.
Ooh,
next week.
We got to get that. So keep an eye out for that.
I'm very excited for that.
Oh.
And The Lost Chapters is what it's called.
Nice.
Mystery.
Oh, so good.
And I mean, if you listen to the interview with James Riley, the way he talks about it, it sounds amazing.
Yep.
You can go back, listen to the second interview we did with James Riley, because we talked about Story Thieves, we talked about this upcoming book. I'm sure we'll have him on again sometime soon.
Yes.
Talk about this one and the next one, Book 3. And very exciting stuff.
Very exciting.
And yeah. So thank you again for listening. Check out all the stuff. And we will be back next week on Radio BrendoMan. So
did you forget the ending?
Yeah.
Radio BrendoMan.
It's because I just said Radio BrendoMan. So what are we calling this episode? We didn't talk about that.
I don't know. It's not Rocket.
What?
Because I had a runny nose the entire time. That's what I'm calling it in my brain.
Okay. Why not?
I don't know. You can call it something else. That's
Sure.
better. For Radio Brendo, man, I'm Radio Brendo.
Because that's Colt Cabana always says, for Colt Cabana, I'm Colt Cabana. Thanks.
That's you.
Well, for Radio BrendoMan, I'm Brendan Creecy.
And I'm Phil Vecchio.
Have a good one, everybody.
Yeah.
Colt Cabana does that.
Oh my gosh, I gotta go look at this again. Sorry, YouTube.
In chat. When it hits you, it hits you. So 203. All right, thanks guys for being in the chat. Phil's blowing his nose.
Yeah.
It's exciting. I'm tired. I gotta go to bed because I gotta get up.
Yeah, I'm gonna go take some NyQuil.
The DS guy was there this year at Arcade Expo,
Yeah.
and we actually saw him play again.
Timon Marmot.
Timon Marmex, that's his name. And but it was really cold, so we only watched him do a couple songs because it was like really cold outside. Because it was like he didn't go on until like 9. It was like 8 or 9.
Yeah. I think it was 9.
And it was like freezing.
This is probably why I'm sick. We're in freezing cold and touching a bunch of like germ.
But being outside doesn't actually do anything. It's the being in close quarters.
No, but having like that
cold air does not do anything.
But it can irritate your throat from being dry.
I guess. They had some heater towers, but not in the
because the bands were in a different place this time.
The bands are in a different place. But yeah.
I realize it doesn't give you germs, but it can irritate your throat and stuff.
But it's more because when it was cold, you tend to like be inside in close quarters with people, and then that's how.
But you get that post-nasal drip that can irritate your throat. I don't know. I realize you don't catch your death of cold, though. It's not the same thing.
You get pneumonia.
That's true. You can get hypothermia.
Yeah, but that's not too common.
Yeah. That's not what I have. I don't think.
I mean, we did touch a lot of video game
things.
That's
probably what it was. But, oh well.
Billy Mitchell.
Walter Day.
Popcorn.
Yeah, that's what it was. I didn't see that lady wash her hands before she gave us popcorn.
Well, then I would be sick, and I'm not sick. It's probably Pepper 2.
Pepper 2, that's true. You know, people who play Pepper 2, they're an unclean bunch. With the Adam Driver.
Oh, there is a good Star Wars sketch.
Yeah. Steve says next year they should invest in hand sanitizer station. It's not a bad idea.
They were better about like maintaining all the games.
Yeah, like getting credits in there a lot faster.
Well, they had like a dedicated volunteer station.
Yeah.
It was all overall like just better organized.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
Yeah.
And dang, that food truck was good.
Oh yeah, it was really good.
Ugh. Well, don't forget to go off of YouTube.
Yeah,
So we don't have an 8-hour episode.
Ghosts.
Good night, YouTube.
Good night, guys.
Ghosts.